2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Think about a dinner tonight, that seltzer water with bits of hot dog from our attempt at having hot dog straws.
Yeah.
If I'm a Packers fan, I'm not nervous. I'm just getting 12 hot dog straws. I'm drinking 12 beers. You're hammered on hot dog beer. Christian Watson could be Devontae Adams.
If you're hammered on hot dog beer, can that please be our show motto?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the one hammered on hot dog beer. Someone who would never drink beer out of a hot dog because he doesn't drink beer and he doesn't eat hot dogs is Tom Brady. Would he drink, like, I don't know, protein shake through a yogurt? I'm not sure. I'm doing this off the top of my head.
Protein shake through a yogurt.
I don't know.
Here are Maggie and Perloff.
That continues to be the dumbest thing that I've ever said on the history of radio. What up, what up? It is Maggie and Perloff. It's Friday before the divisional round. You've made it. We're almost here. We're about 24 hours away from Kansas City and Jacksonville, Perloff. I'm excited about every single one of these games, but you are in prediction mode already.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday, what we lead with. Do you want to know? We could
Please.
Actually, Mike Samter, get the rundown ready. I know what the story is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, indulge us. Tell the audience. Tell
It is going to be the Dallas Cowboys kicking situation.
Oh, you think that's going to cost them?
I think it's going to be. I've been looking at that spread all day. It's a 4-point spread.
Yep.
People expect it to be a close game. If it's a close game, there's going to be a decision that Mike McCarthy's going to have to make about putting out some wounded kicker or a 2-point conversion. And there's nothing America likes to debate more, even more than politics, than should a team try a 2-point conversion. You have to admit,
Going for it on fourth down is our new national pastime to argue about.
Oh, yeah. And it's shaping up to be a possible disaster, right? And I love that aspect of it. This is going to be so much drama, and I expect that game to be really good.
Yeah, I think that game's going to be awesome. And you're right about the kicking situation. We haven't even talked about, like, the field goal situation. The PATs are one thing, but, like, what if Brett Maher or whoever's kicking, Vizcaíno?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're leading a Friday before the divisional round with the Dallas kicker, but you're right, it's appropriate.
Yeah, the field goal. No one's talked about the field goal. All we talk about is a point after touchdown. So what if it's a first drive? They get down to the San Francisco 27. It's a 44-yard field goal. What do they do? they go for
Imagine
it.
if it's like Dak Prescott, who doesn't really take a ton of sacks, but like he's sacked on third down, like like just on the cusp of field goal range. It's like, what do you do? Do you go for it on like 4th and 8, or do you have your guy kick like a 47-yard field goal?
You know that college coach who would not use the punter?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that story? That's what Mike McCarthy could end up being with field goals, just going for it. And what if it works?
I mean, it'd be incredible if it works, but that's the thing. You're never going to know. They brought in another kicker to compete with Maher, but the practice isn't going to be the problem. It's when he's actually the game. That's when the yips come out.
Yeah, and by the way, the new kicker does not have a lot of proven success in the NFL. He's gotten cut 4 times. And I wonder, if you're a kicker too, and the other kicker has the yips, does that mean that you're going to get the yips?
Is it contagious?
I just think if anything happens with that, because Cowboys-Niners, these are all 4 amazing matchups.
Yeah.
Cowboys-Niners does have a little extra juice because of the popularity and the history, right?
Yeah.
And it's the last game. Is it the last game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the last game.
Sunday night.
So, okay.
Well, it's Sunday afternoon for them. It's like evening, 6 o'clock on the East Coast.
Not much of a stretch to say we'll be leading Monday. I think I know what you think the lead is going to be too.
Yeah. I'm sorry
come on,
to say
Maggie.
it. Okay, I was toying with the fact of coming in with like all my Bill stuff on and like being super confident, and instead I wore black. Like I can't get past it. I'm very concerned. But I think the headline coming in Monday is going to be one of 2 things. Like Josh Allen throws a bad interception or makes a boneheaded play or fumble or something that costs them.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping it's not that. Or is it one of the big upsets? Is it somehow the Giants pull off an upset against your Eagles, or Jacksonville pulls off the ultimate upset against Kansas City? I think that. I was not thinking Brett Maher was going to be the lead.
Well, I do think it has to, even if those upsets, the Cowboys can always knock anybody out of the news cycle. And
That's true.
Remember last year's playoff game with San Francisco and Dallas? I don't know why I suspect there's going to be more late game shenanigans from the Mike McCarthy crew. So I lean that way. Now, which
upset?
Yeah, which upset would be the bigger? I have an opinion.
Yeah, I'm weirdly talking myself into the Jags because, first of all, I love Kansas City. Love the way they play. They're like the team of this time, right? Like they are the juggernaut team right now. But they've let teams hang around on them all year. The Jags have a way of digging themselves into holes, but to be fair, coming back. The one thing that worries me about, I think that the Jags have enough talent to actually pull off this upset. The one thing that concerns me is the Jags have been playing playoff games for like a month. And Kansas City has been nothing even close to that. And they have the extra time off with the Andy Reid off the bye. So I worry about Jacksonville. Like, is the pixie dust just gone? Like, did they use it all up last week against the Chargers? Meanwhile, the Chiefs are in cruise control.
They've been playing playoff games for a month. That's usually used as a positive, a reason that they'll win. They're used to these playoffs, like my Phillies in the MLB 2022. Yeah. No, seriously, that's usually meant as a positive. They've been playing in these pressure situations where KC is going to be a little lackadaisical. But I actually think this is, I'm going to go total mental here. Kansas City is well aware of what happened with the Chargers and the Jags. And if they get up a lead, I don't think they're going to let up mentally, which seems to be happening a lot in this year's NFL, where the team in the lead gives up a little bit, just loses that steam. I think the Chiefs might know that.
They have to be on guard for that. Well, they should be on guard for that with what happened last year against Cincinnati.
Yes, you're right. They don't need last week. They have last year.
Yeah, that burned them. And that was at home.
Yeah, but even if the Jags do win, I don't know if that's the lead.
You still think that the Dallas kicker would...
I think the Cowboys-Niners result could beat the Jags. Now the Giants beating the Eagles.
Well, then you're going to get your shades of 2007.
Yeah, then it basically becomes the Giants and Eli Manning, and they're going to talk about Daniel Jones as if he's Eli Manning. The two will be interchangeable at that point.
Yeah, they're the same guy. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, let's focus in on that Dallas-San Francisco game, because I have a lean in this game, and I can't be talked out of it, I don't think. Now, I got burned last week by taking Tampa over Dallas. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I thought Tom Brady at home getting points, okay, how can I resist? I'm struggling to find a way that Dallas beats San Francisco. Because if the only thing you're going to tell me is Brock Purdy, well, you don't really have the evidence. Last week against the Seattle Seahawks, he did not play well. The guy was only 18 for 30. It's not like his stat line at the end for 300 yards. It's not like his stat line was unbelievable. He missed a lot of throws. But when they were down at halftime, he put together an incredible second half. He ends up with 3 touchdowns, passing, 1 rushing touchdown, and he was excellent. I feel like that was the test, and he passed it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was 9 for 19 at one point, so then he got super hot. Most of those incompletions were throwaways.
Yeah.
I thought he was the completion percentage was not a big deal because he averaged 11 yards per attempt. That's a yard and a half higher than the NFL lead. So he was really, but a lot of it was, of course, Deebo Samuel. Yeah, here's my fear of the Niners. Who have they beaten lately? They've run over these mediocre teams. The last time, really, they played a really good team was the Chiefs game, and they got killed. So I do worry that they might have gotten fat off of mediocre competition. I know they had Miami with Tua in there, but that was going all the way across the country for that Miami team that I never bought fully.
Okay.
So I worry that they're a little bit of fool's gold.
Well, I mean, getting fat off mediocre competition, you basically are describing a lot of teams that are in the playoffs, including your team, including the Giants.
Yeah, and you know how I feel about my team. I think they're not as good as their record. And the Vikings were not as good as their record.
Right.
The Giants were not as good as their record, although they seem to be building this bizarre confidence.
They have the irrational confidence. I don't know. I just see San Francisco. I can't say winning big. I don't know if this is a 2-touchdown game. Obviously not. But I can just see them kind of taking control of this game. And I think their defense is really good. And I think when you get out, basically to the edges, they have the speed, and they're going to ask Dallas, those corners are going to have to tackle, all these things that it just seems like second nature to San Francisco that they do so well.
Yeah, I mean, their corners are weak. You could get, but I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to take advantage of that. I mean, DK Metcalf obviously did whatever he wanted in that first half. Yeah, it's going to be tough. The only reason I wouldn't put a ton of money on San Francisco, 4 points.
That's a tough no man's land there.
Yeah, it goes over the 3-point. So, and I agree. Everything you say makes sense, but it does feel to me like Dallas can keep this close. It won't be San Francisco just running roughshod over everybody again. So what does that mean for our boy, Brock Purdy?
I think what it means for Brock Purdy is that, I know this is crazy to say, but if he wins and they get to the Super Bowl, do you say no thank you to Tom Brady?
Oh, you say no definitely. Why Tom Brady doesn't fit this offense?
Tom Brady can fit any offense, can he? A great offensive line, great weapons. Why couldn't Tom Brady do what Brock Purdy's doing? I just like that there's some sort of legit RPO possibility. He's good on play action. I get it. Purdy is.
And Trey Lance would probably be even better because he can run. I don't know. Everybody's so dynamic in that offense. You're going to bring in a 46-year-old guy who can't move 2 feet. It just feels wrong. Nobody plays a position except Tom Brady's going to be this statue at quarterback. To me, it just doesn't feel like the right fit.
Well, here's the thing, though, about Trey Lance. Basically, the guy was liking Instagram posts about the new Tennessee Titans general manager, who I know was working for the 49ers.
Yeah, he's his friend. Who knows? Yeah, I hear you. I mean,
hey, pick me.
Well, I don't know. Brock Purdy sure looks good to me. Unless it's a total disaster, I believe Brock Purdy's starting week 1.
I don't think Trey Lance is going to be able to beat him out.
No, but it's San Francisco. I mean, probably they'll both get hurt and they'll go to third or fourth.
Say that.
And if Brady goes, I mean, that's San Francisco's quarterback history lately. And as you keep pointing out, till Jimmy G is long gone and not wearing a Niners uniform, let's not count that dude out either.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, so where can you listen to us and watch us? I'm so glad you asked. Across the country on CBS Sports Radio, of course, on the absolutely 100% free Odyssey app, which you can download on your phone or computer, on SiriusXM channel 158. And we are live on YouTube literally right now. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. If you ever wondered, what does Andrew Perloff look like?
No, don't wonder.
Am I a blonde or a brunette? What do I sound like? You can go right now and watch us on the chat. Samter, that made you laugh. I don't sound blonde. I know. I'm not happy enough.
I was thinking of you in the duck costume. It's like,
Yes.
none of the above. She has yellow. All yellow.
Yeah. Am I a human or am I a duck? 855-2124-CBS. See you guys on the phones. We want to hear from you today. It's about you. It's about you, the fans, getting ready for divisional weekend, the best weekend in the NFL. So let's go. Let's get on board. In the chat, on the phones, on Twitter at Maggie and Pearl, of course, on Facebook.com/Maggie and Perloff, and also on Instagram, Maggie and Perloff. Your phone calls, also the one off the field announcement that could impact this weekend's games. We've got that for you. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This NFL postseason, every Westwood One NFL broadcast streams live for free, all on the road to Super Bowl 57. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app on WestwoodOneSports.com. Via Westwood One station streams or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. All sponsored by AutoZone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. All right. I am predicting that the Cowboys kicking situation will be the story of the day on Monday. Call us with your thoughts on the upcoming football weekend, 855-212-4227. And, of course, you're listening to us on CBS Sports Radio or watching us on YouTube. What's going on the chat there right now, Maggie?
The chat is in rare form right now. Jeffrey's saying that he hopes that Perloff gets back on the Eagles bus today. He was hoping for some confidence from you about the Eagles.
I actually, it's funny. I've been kind of killing them all week. I did watch a bunch of Jalen Hurts and practice videos, and maybe I'm open to the idea that the Eagles could win this game.
Okay, I like that you're opening the door to the fact that they're a 7.5-point favorite. They could win. Jerry is telling me that if the Bills lose, I should have to drink beer out of a hot dog straw.
Yes.
And then Timothy joined in the duck costume.
Yes.
You guys don't miss a beat, man. Yuck. I don't want to do that.
Wait, we did hot dog straws, didn't we?
Yeah, I did it on Instagram.
It wasn't beer, though.
It wasn't beer because that's generally frowned upon when you're doing live radio, but we can get an exemption, I think, from our boss if we want to. That was so gross because the chunks were all in it and then they flowed to the top. Yeah. And then I think the hot dog soda was sitting there for a few days. Yeah. That was bad. That was like our foray into like Fear Factor. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Enough about us. What about you? Let's get to the phones. Justin is in Pennsylvania, wants to talk about the Chiefs. Justin, you're up first here on CBS Sports Radio.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, the Kansas City Chiefs are getting the best from everybody and still coming out on top. So I don't think it's that easy to just dismay what they've done. And I don't know if the Jaguars have the firepower to overcome that. And I don't know, you throw four picks against Kansas City, they're not going to let you come back in that game. Nor if you get a big lead, is that safe as well. That's pretty much it.
Well, the only thing about those 4 picks, a lot of that, the officials were not helping the Jags earlier in that game. Remember, the Chargers were kind of manhandling them, and there was a clear pass interference, and they picked up the flag. So I think the officials have something to do with that.
Well, you got Patrick Mahomes. If we saw it when he played Houston, when he played, I think it was Indian. I forget who the other team was, but you get a big lead on him, and it's not safe. You got to beat him.
Houston, yeah.
4 quarters.
Same things we said, though, about these Jags. I mean, you get a lead on them, it doesn't mean jack. I mean, they came back against 17 points against the Raiders, 9 against Baltimore. Dallas, they were down 10. Tennessee, they were down 10. And the Chargers, they were down 27 at one point. So, I mean, listen, it's a different animal, Justin. You're right. To do it against the Chiefs is not like doing it against, the Raiders. It's just not.
Also,
sorry, Stu.
That game was in Jacksonville last
That's true.
week.
Yep.
That's a big factor. I don't want to get into weather comparisons, and I actually am not sure what it's going to be in KC. It feels like a big ask to have Jacksonville go to KC and do that.
Yeah, and I think you're right about Kansas City learning their lesson from last year, from last week, keeping their foot on the gas. Sean is in Oregon, wants to talk about his Cowboys. Sean, you feeling confident?
They ain't my Cowboys. I'm a Steelers fan. I just see things. And I see the Cowboys going after Brock Purdy. It's going to be Micah Parsons and the defense putting on a clinic. So you think of Sean in Oregon when you see this is the end of the story for Brock Purdy. And you watch what happens because they're going to play what's left of Philadelphia and the Giants. Philly and the Giants are going to kill each other, and then Cowboys are going to have an easy ride to the Super Bowl because they're just going to play what's left of those guys.
Sean, wait, hold on. What makes you think that this is going to be an easy game for the Cowboys? Because they're going to get to Brock Purdy behind one of the best offensive lines in the league?
Yeah, he's finally going to start making some mistakes. He's going to turn the ball over, and he's going to throw some interceptions. And about the only thing that's going to save the 49ers is the officiating. So just watch what happens. You just think of Sean in Oregon and this starts happening.
Brock Purdy's thrown 2 interceptions in 6 starts. Sean, I love when you call the show. You're a great addition. I don't see the Brock Purdy now, big meltdown.
He was under a lot of pressure in that first half against the Seahawks, and he spins the wrong way out of pressure and gets into some trouble. But he survived it last week. I bet you Kyle Shanahan is sitting in his office and he has a billboard that says, "Figure out Micah Parsons." I mean, I bet they run the ball at him a lot. They just try and neutralize him as a pass rusher because we all every fan knows you can't let Micah Parsons get going. So, but I will think of Sean in Oregon if that's how it plays out.
Yeah, the 49ers run game against the Dallas Cowboys front is the key to this game. But I think it's the 49ers run game, not Brock Purdy. Purdy's
But their run game isn't a real run game. It's a combination. You don't know where the run game is going to hit you from. That's why it's so dangerous. It could be a receiver doing some weird thing. I think the opposite, and I know you agree with this, Cowboys got to get their run game going or they don't have a chance. They do not want Dak dropping back in 3rd and long. That's against Nick Bosa. So
yeah, you don't want him to be able to tee off.
I think it's pretty clear what the strategic key to this game are.
Jack is in Palm Springs, California. Oh, I want to live in Palm Springs one day. What's up, Jack?
Hey, so I never listened to sports radio until a couple of 3 months ago. I stumbled on you guys accidentally. I have to tell you, Stormy Buonantony, what a name, and I have a crush on your voice. So I wanted to, although I've been married 52 years, so I'm not available. But nevertheless, I just wanted to call that. I love the show. I love the back and forth with you and Perloff. And by the way, I seem to recall, lifelong Giants fan, I seem to recall the last time the Giants weren't supposed to win the Super Bowl was the last time they won the Super Bowl. So you never know.
Yeah.
And they got nothing to lose, right? House money.
Jack, thanks so much for the compliments.
Jack, can we crash at your house at Coachella? What's up? Would that be okay?
Anytime. Just give me a call. I have plenty of room out here.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, Jack. Palm Springs is my happy place. I've never been to Coachella. That's not why. It's like literally a city that smells like jasmine. I mean, it's beautiful there.
I've never been. It sounds great. Let's visit Jack. I mean, callers should not put out offers like that because we will be there.
So we show up with like bags packed. Like, see, you want Sports Talk Radio in your home.
Yeah.
For a weekend.
Jack, it's us. What?
We're here to talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah, and this poor wife of 52 years.
It's like, who the hell are these strangers?
Yeah. But do you get that a lot where men call in and say they have crushes on your voice? That's pretty cool.
No, not that often.
It's never happened to me, so you're several steps ahead of me. At least it's happened once.
Man, well, we got to find your people. I think the Grainers love your voice. They love everything about you.
No, I'm saying the opposite sex or somebody just be like, ooh, listen. Well, remember that time I was sick and I went all deep?
Yeah,
that was good.
That was good.
When I had COVID.
I called in that day and I said I love Perloff's voice.
Yeah.
Yes, you did say that.
It was very inappropriate.
It's really it's unfortunate for you because it's kind of a numbers game. Like, just the numbers will tell you there are just more men listening to the show than there are women.
No,
but we have a lot of women who listen to us. I'm sure that you're part of that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm immediately into the friend zone with all those women listeners. Trust me.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. 855-2124-CBS. Let's go to Phil, who's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Phil, what's up?
Hey, Maggie. Hey, Pearl. I told you I'd call back today.
I know. We were waiting for you.
No.
What's going on?
Were we supposed to think of the bet, or were you supposed to think of this bet?
You were supposed to. However, I would like to revise it. I want to take the Reggie White jersey off of the table. Now, Maggie, don't drop me.
Okay.
Don't drop me. I want to hear
not
what
gonna drop
Perloff
you.
has to say because I'm about to give him an offer that he cannot refuse.
A dead horse in his bed? Sorry, go ahead.
No. On the table now, there's 3 types of jerseys: the jersey shirt, the $80 jersey you got for someone's birthday, and the really top quality, jersey.
Yeah.
I have a top quality jersey from 30 plus years ago, Eagles green, Randall Cunningham.
Oh, you're speaking Perloff's language.
That is on the table.
What?
That's my
Phil, we
favorite
can't
player.
allow you to put
favorite
this
player
on
of
the
all
table.
time. So wait,
If the Giants lose, now if the Eagles win, this is what I want.
Okay.
I will send it to you on loan.
Okay.
I want you to get it signed by Randall Cunningham, and I want you to have it framed, and then you can keep it on loan for a while and prominently display it for Maggie and Perloff show, behind you like a museum has paintings that are on loan.
I absolutely love it, and I assume if the Eagles got to the Super Bowl, Randall Cunningham would be there. We would definitely see him. It's in Phoenix. I know he lives in Vegas.
Radio Row.
Yes.
I was thinking you could probably interview him then, and you could get it done then.
Who's doing the framing again?
Now, the framing's not cheap.
That's on your dime.
We're doing the framing. Okay. So,
but can I do something that make me more comfortable?
Yeah.
How about it'll still be on loan even if you lose the bet? Because I don't want to take it permanently, but I definitely want this Randall jersey in the studio badly.
But I will send it to you Monday morning, win or lose. But Maggie, after you're done, can you transfer me to your producer so that I can get your correct address? I don't want to send it to another building in New York, have someone see it and then keep it.
Oh, no, of course. We would handle this. Phil, we would handle this like it's our own. We would take.
But it is quite literally something that you would only see behind glass at an Eagles charity auction.
Wow.
Got it. Wow.
I feel confident we could hunt down Randall Cunningham.
About 12 years, and I'm sorry, it's a little wrinkled, but oh well.
Because I said I feel confident we could hunt down Randall Cunningham, and Samter just gets my ear and goes, "I have his number. We should have him on."
Well, there you go. Now we have
a reason. No, I want to hang out in person with Randall. I've been to a million Super Bowls. I don't know if I've ever seen Randall Cunningham there.
Actually, I've never interviewed him before. I've never seen him in person. Hold on 1 second. Wait, what's the bet, though? The bet is...
if the Giants win, I win the bet because I've been so down on my
because you've been so down on the Eagles.
And if the Eagles win...
Because Phil's a real Eagles fan. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If the Eagles win, then Phil wins.
Okay.
You know how real of a fan I am? I just got a 10-hour tattoo in the off season of Eagles wings on my back, upper arms, and shoulders.
In other words, you're the average Eagles fan.
Wait a minute, Phil.
Chest, it's my back, so yeah.
Send us a photo of that, please.
I will let you keep the jersey for a year if the Giants win.
Okay.
Amazing. Wait,
but
Phil, a couple things.
Be completely responsible and accountable for it if it ever gets lost, stolen, whatever.
Or damaged. Absolutely, we would pay you the value of it 100%. No problem with that. We're people of our word. I really want to see the tattoo, though. You could just DM it to us, unless you want to put it on social media.
I am not online, and that's just for me and my wife to enjoy.
Okay, never mind then. It's your body, your choice.
You agree to that, Perloff?
Yeah.
Are we agreeing to the terms?
Oh, 100%. I can't wait.
All right, Maggie, can you transfer me over to your producer so
Absolutely.
I can get your address and write down?
Phil, I'm putting you on hold right now. You can talk to Mike Samter.
You know why Phil's my kind of guy? Because he's absolutely right. A framed Randall Cunningham jersey doesn't even belong in our studio. It belongs in some fine art museum. It is a treasure. Doesn't even have a cost on it.
We'll call the MoMA.
I mean, if something like that, I don't really know. Do they put a price on that, or is it just invaluable?
I know, it's like a Picasso.
I guess I could order one online, too. That just dawned on me. It probably does have a value.
But getting it signed by Randall Cunningham, which we'd have to take a photo of him signing it and all that, make it official. I don't know why. I feel like we could find Randall Cunningham. This isn't like finding some recluse person, but you're right. I've never interviewed him. I've never seen him at a radio.
Did I tell you what happened, by the way, at the Army-Navy game?
About Brian Dawkins?
Brian Dawkins was there, and my dad was watching the show.
Yeah.
My dad wears a Brian Dawkins jersey for every single Eagles game. Every game.
Yeah.
It's his good luck charm. He was so mad that he wasn't wearing his Dawkins jersey.
Did he not know that there was a chance Dawkins would be there?
No, he had no idea.
Yeah.
Because I didn't either. The Army-Navy Media Row, and he didn't even know what that meant. But
it was a fun time, though.
It was great, but he was so mad that he didn't get that signed by Dawkins.
By the way, Dawkins, ferocious player. Nicest guy.
Yeah,
like,
just don't
well, yeah,
get on his bad side,
I'm not
Maggie.
Tiki Barber trying to run at him, so a little bit different. Big Dave is in Kentucky. He's got a blueprint for how the Cowboys beat the 49ers. Dave, what do you have?
Yeah, but first let me say that there's nothing like listening to 15 minutes of this Eagles homer drool while I'm prepping for my call here. So I greatly appreciate that. Listen, Mike, you said you really couldn't see any way for the Cowboys to beat the Niners. Actually, there is a way. The way is that Tampa Bay Dak shows up.
Yep.
That they move the pocket, they establish the run game whatsoever, or I mean at least somewhat that that allows for some play action. But now here's the thing: talking about Brock Purdy, you said, well, you have no evidence that he's going to wilt under the pressure. But here's the thing: the 6 teams that he has won. Let me give you a quick overview of their defensive rating. All right.
Yeah.
Arizona is rated 31st overall in the league. The Raiders 26th overall in the league. The Seahawks 28th overall in the league. Miami 19th. Tampa 14th. The only one with an overall good defensive rating, which really surprised me, is Washington.
Yeah. No, Washington defense came on. Yeah.
Yeah, they really did. They're ranked 7th. So, and of course, the Cowboys, I think, are ranked 5th. They're ranked 5th or 6th. 5th, I think. But anyway, so here's the thing. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying he's not been tested. They're going to have to pressure him. I think they're going to have to do maybe some exotic things defensively, maybe to confuse him.
One of the things, though, Dave, I totally get what you're saying and about Brock Purdy, but couldn't I also make the case about this with Dak Prescott? I mean, Prescott's a much better quarterback than Purdy. I've got eyes. I can see that. But who's Prescott really beaten if we're talking about it? Detroit, Chicago, lost to Green Bay, beat Minnesota, congrats. The Giants, Indy, Houston, at Jacksonville, they lost that game, and partially because of a Dak's interceptions. Philly without Jalen Hurts. Tennessee was a shell, and then they lost to Washington, who has that surprisingly good defensive rating. So I could kind of make the case for Dak too, right?
Well, listen, here's the thing with the Cowboys, okay? Here's the thing with Dak and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
When they're on their game, I think that you all would agree that they can beat anyone in the league. It's the inconsistencies that's been the issue with this team. It's the inconsistencies that's been the issue with Dak. But that's why I preface my comments by saying that it has to be the Tampa Bay version of Dak Prescott. And I just
100% agree. 100% agree.
Purdy's untested. I don't think he is. And with his comparison to Dak, it's just Dak has got a lot. And don't get me wrong, he's crapped the bed before, but he's got a lot more experience. He's been there before. My whole point is, I just think Purdy's untested, and he's about to be tested. So
it's a great point, Dave. We'll see what happens. Make sure to call on Monday, either gloating or recapping.
When you think about it, Purdy's got a little Dak in him. Because Dak was thrust, a late round pick, thrust into it and immediately looked like he belonged.
That's true.
And Purdy totally. If you didn't know if Purdy was a first round pick, we'd be talking about him so differently. The way he's played, we'd say it's great. But because he's Mr. Irrelevant, I think we always keep the draft round as a label, no matter what happens.
Yeah, but to some guys, like for the most famous example, like for Brady or for Russell Wilson, it works in their favor. Like because the lore of them becomes so much more than what they are. It's like they're obviously really good players.
Wait,
they went into a great situation.
The lore of Tom Brady is what it should be. It's not more because he was a 6th rounder.
No, but like Dak and Russell Wilson. It's like Dak was the lore of Dak being a 4th round pick, right? And he walked into what ended up being a really good situation. He had not only a great offensive line, he had Zeke Elliott. I mean, they were good.
Yeah, but I still think if he was a number 1 pick, I think we'd view him differently.
Well, how?
I think we would think he's better if he was a number 1 overall player. Like Trevor Lawrence is going to have this number 1 overall label forever. I think we always keep the draft round in our heads. It's just a natural thing to do.
Yeah, and the guys, you know what else does that? Small thing. When they play Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football and they do the introductions and it's everyone where they went to college, it almost gives you a reminder of going back to their drafts. Does anyone else do that?
Yeah. Except I love there's always two guys who go to their high school.
Yeah.
And you always wonder, what's the deal with that? Do they just not like their college? Do they love their high school?
I always think that, too. I'm like, are they just trying to give love to the high school, or like something happened where they really hated where they went to college and now they're on the outs? 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227 coming up. Ooh, okay, we didn't get to it last time. We will. There's something going on off the field that has a chance to impact what we see in the divisional round. I'll tell you what we mean in just a moment. Right now, a CBS Sports Update with our pal Rich Ackerman.
CBS Sports Flash.
Midwood High School. The Jaguars and Chiefs kick off the divisional round of the NFL playoffs tomorrow afternoon. Something will have to give in this matchup. Neither team has lost since early December. The Jaguars are coming off the incredible comeback victory over the Chargers a week ago. The Chiefs had a chance to relax last week after earning the lone bye in the AFC. But Patrick Mahomes now ready to go.
I think you build up for this all season long. And the regular season, you take it week by week. But you want to be here in the playoffs, and you know you're going to play the best football teams in the league, and that's what you want to do as a competitor. And so I'm excited to get to go up against a great football team at Arrowhead. That's always a good time.
The Chiefs won the regular season meeting. The Eagles, the top seed in the NFC, will host the Giants in the second part of tomorrow's doubleheader after taking both regular season meetings from New York. The Bengals will be shorthanded on the offensive line even more on Sunday, with left tackle Jonah Williams ruled out with a knee injury and Alex Kappa sidelined with an injured ankle. Michigan offensive coordinator Matt Weiss is out, currently under investigation for computer access crimes. And the Twins and Marlins have reportedly completed a deal that sends American League batting champ Luis Arraez to Miami for pitcher Pablo Lopez and prospects. I'm Rich Ackerman.
This is Zach Gelb. CBS Sports Radio has moved to Sirius XM channel 158, or listen to us on your local affiliate. Find your station at Odyssey.com/stations.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
To focus on the show, because sometimes Perloff will say things to me in the break and then I'm like, wait, what? Can you just say what you just said to me like 2 seconds before we came back from break?
So my phone is blowing up because there's big controversy in my Saturday morning pickup run. We're a tight-knit group. We've had this run for years. Apparently, there's a 7-foot Serbian professional coming to the run tomorrow.
Now I have questions. Who is he?
So
Why is he coming?
There's a guy in our run named Tim who is 6'8" and is 26 years old and just played in Serbia overseas. He's amazing.
Where did he go to college?
He went to Notre Dame. He did not play on the team.
Oh, wow.
He was on the women's practice squad. So all he did was practice against the Notre Dame women. Notre Dame women had been top 5 the whole time he was there. But he was late to basketball, but he was a volleyball player, picked up basketball. He's amazing. Wins every game. Every single game.
So he's the number one pick every time.
No, we have to stack the team so it's Tim and the 3 dwarves, and then we all just foul him to try and get a win.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, he said,
the Tim Duncan of the basketball run.
No, he's more like Michael Jordan. He dunks on my head all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like
he's
Michael
not a
Jordan.
9-foot jump. No, but he's not a 9-foot bank shot like the boring Tim Duncan.
Okay.
He said, "Can I bring my 7-foot buddy from my team?" So we're all like, "Yes," but how? I'm the second tallest person there. I'm 6'3.5". How am I going to cover a 7-footer? Like, how am I going to get a shot off a 7-footer?
Somebody, please, can Sarah or somebody go and take some kind of video of this for us?
Well, so Tim is 6'8" and can fly. He'll cover him, but I still don't know.
But when the Serbian gets switched on you, I just want to see what happens. The Serbian gets
switched, or if Tim loses, and then I'm going to have to cover the 7-footer. I actually have played against tall people before.
Yeah.
It's not, they're super slow. They can't get outside.
But not a you haven't played against a 7-foot professional player. They're not slow.
Pretty much every 7-footer is a professional at some level, and they are slow. Otherwise, we'd know their name.
Was he George Mirasan? I mean, how slow is he?
Well, if you have any speed in your 7-foot, you're Domantas Sabonis. You're in the NBA. You're not playing pickup in downtown New York on a Saturday morning. So I'll give a full report. I'll video this guy. I mean, I'm going to take him to the hole.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then they're going to take you to the hospital. That's how the...
Well, I mean, I think when he looks at me, his big question is, how do I block this guy's shot and keep it it inbounds instead of swatting him to the third row. That's his only debate covering me.
This is going to be like if you were in the movie Hustle, but not as reporter number 2, as like one of the people playing against Bo Cruz.
No, because I'm not putting money against the 7-foot. Bo Cruz was hustling people in Hustle. I am not losing a dime to this man because I'm well aware of where I stand.
Leave your wallet at home.
Is he going to pull a Vince Carter, Frederick Weiss on you? Is that what's happening here?
Ooh, please.
He's Frederick Weiss.
No, he's Weiss, though.
Am I going to pull that?
Yeah.
I mean, I would need a ladder to pull that. Can I bring a ladder onto the court?
I got a show bet. If you do that, I will give you my house.
Pull a ladder. But that's like,
Show bet.
You ever seen The Simpsons where Krusty acknowledges his gambling problem because he's betting on the Washington Generals against the Harlem Globetrotters? And he starts screaming at the screen. He goes, official, why are you calling anything? The dude just brought a ladder onto the court. So there is precedent. Krusty put all his money on the Washington Generals. Anyway.
Did he say they're due?
He said they're due, yeah. He's like, I thought they were due.
855-2124-CBS, 855-2124-227. All right, these show bets are getting out of control here. Mike is in Vegas, wants to add to our discussion about the Randall Cunningham jersey that Phil in Pennsylvania has bet Perloff that it would be in our possession for 1 year. 1 year if the Eagles win. Okay, Mike, what's up?
Man, look, that's a sucker's bet. I got a better one for you. I'm going to give you a Randall Cunningham jersey. You can have it. I don't need you to display it for a year with the Jerome Brown patch on it.
Whoa.
I go to Randall's church. I can get Randall to sign it.
Well, we don't want to seem like we're taking advantage of Randall Cunningham's kindness here.
I think we have to earn it somehow,
Yeah,
Mike.
I feel like we have to earn it.
What can we do?
Look,
donate to the church, maybe? Could do that?
You can donate to the church.
Okay.
I mean, Randall and I go way back like high school days. We played football against each other.
Okay.
How'd you do against him? I can't
how'd
imagine
that go?
well.
Was that like Perloff playing against a 7-foot Serbian?
Man, look, Randall was Randall. I mean, he went to Santa Barbara High School. I went to Ventura High School. So Randall was still running. He was still running and punting. So Randall's an athlete. He's going to be an athlete. Now he's a pastor. So it's not a problem to get him to sign it. I'm going to see if I can work some magic and try to get him on your show.
Oh, well, I mean, Mike, we thank you for that. That's really nice. But Samter can do it. It's okay. No. We appreciate your kindness. And this is, I'm trying to be very gracious here. We just don't want to seem like we're taking advantage of your kindness.
No, I do this for a living. I do charity auctions for the NFL players. I do sports memorabilia for a living. So it's all good.
All right. Well, as long as we can do something good for somebody.
Yeah, we'll put you on hold for a second. Talk to our producer. Let's get your contact info. We don't want to seem like we're just taking. We got to give a little here, too.
Yeah. Can you imagine being in high school? And, hey, what are you hearing about this quarterback we got? Oh, his name is Randall Cunningham. I hear he's hard to take down. I mean, NFL players could not tackle him.
Yeah, I can't imagine high school. Remember the Reggie Bush highlights from high school that are on YouTube right now?
We're on NFL Network now. There's a classic Michael Vick game.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to tackle Michael Vick? No.
How about Chris is in Texas, wants to talk about the games this weekend. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Oh, be doing better as long as the Cowboys kick the crap out of San Francisco Sunday.
I bet you would. How confident are you?
60%.
Okay. That's good considering they're a 4-point underdog.
I get nervous when we play the 49ers.
Yeah.
I can see why.
The history. I mean, I still remember watching the catch take place on TV, and I've hated San Francisco ever since.
Yeah, I will do it.
Wow. I mean, Chris, you know my worst nightmare is that the Cowboys win.
Yeah, your worst nightmare is we beat the 49ers, y'all beat the Jerks, and then we come in there and gun y'all down.
If Dallas wins the NFC title game in Philadelphia, I think I don't know. I'm not following the NFL anymore. I just can't do it. That's too much pain.
If that happens, it'll make up for when Jaworski and the Eagles beat the Cowboys in the NFC title game at Veterans Stadium.
That was 1980.
Yeah, I know. I was 10 years old.
Well, Chris,
I remember that game.
Chris, I mean, listen, good luck to your Cowboys. I think that's going to be one of, if not the game of the weekend. And it's, as you said, it's the nightcap on Sunday. I bet that game's going to do an incredible rating. Like, everyone's going to be watching it. But here's the thing that's actually going to happen. If the Eagles end up beating the Giants, and if Dallas beats the 49ers, and then Dallas beats the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, the reality of what's going to happen is not that you're not going to follow football anymore. The reality is then we are all going to fly to Phoenix, and we are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys for 2 weeks straight.
Now, that's the worst-case scenario. The Giants winning on Saturday night and me having to come into this building in New York City to see Giants fans celebrating in my face, that would be really bad. But the Cowboys hold a special place. Who's the Bills' version of the Cowboys? Is it the Patriots or the Dolphins or the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with the Patriots is it was never a fair fight.
Yeah,
they were winning so much.
And the Patriots is more recent. That's more recency. Right?
Yeah.
Like the early 90s, mid-90s Bills probably was a little bit different.
But there was a big Dolphins.
Miami.
I saw there was a big Dolphins thing. I saw an NFL Network special on. They were real competitive for a long time.
Really competitive, and just like the Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, it was just that was really big.
Yeah.
But now I would say we'll see. Maybe it might be the Bengals. I mean, who knows? This could be an all-time game and could start a rivalry. They just don't play each other every year.
Did you guys also have the random Cowboy fan in your neighborhood?
Always.
1 out of every 10 kids in every city is a Cowboy fan.
Yep. It's like clockwork.
Yeah. I hate that kid. And I'm talking to you, Todd Klemner, if you're listening right now. Yeah,
Todd.
Yeah, Todd.
Todd.
Yeah, everybody had a Todd in their neighborhood.
Yep.
No, I like the Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And wear the starter jacket that was like the Cowboy starter jacket to elementary
Bruce
school.
was the Cowboy fan at this point.
Yeah, Bruce, one-eyed Bruce. Your friend. Bruce was a friend you made in adulthood, right?
He was a friend in adulthood. I don't remember him having an NFL team. He went to Syracuse. No, he was such a fantasy football person that he forgot that real football existed.
Too modern. If you're new to the show and you're wondering why do we bring up a random person named Bruce,
he's not a random person. He's an all-time legend.
He's a man who has a glass eye and once lost it mid-coitus.
Yep. Facts.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Coming up, one owner talking cryptically about their quarterback before a massive playoff game. What?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
We have a friend who had a fake eye. He lost it during intimate relations.
Get out of here.
Yes. And it was a famous story. Okay, we have to go to break. Nobody can clip this and put this out there because this will get me in huge trouble.
Whoa, where, how? She gouged it out?
Let's move on here. What's next on the outline near Sampson? What do we got? So Joe Girardi.
You want to talk about that now?
Anything.
Okay. Wow.
No, yeah. I don't think we're still...
I just love watching you squirm now.
Yeah, this is not going to work out well for me.
Mike's in California.
I am not a cringe humor person, never have been. But watching Perloff squirm was probably the hardest I've laughed in forever.
It was even better to be in the room with him. I'm not going to lie.
Here are Maggie and Perloff.
That is the Bruce story. Mike in California is actually in the chat right now on youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio talking about the menu for this weekend. Beef ribs, burrito tacos on Sunday. I mean, there's a big barbecue thing going on in our chat. If you're into that kind of thing, jump on it.
Who's not into that kind of thing? Yes.
I don't know. 855-212-4227. We're talking all about the divisional round this week and picking upsets. Perloff has made a prediction about what we're going to be talking about Monday morning.
It is the Cowboys kicking situation. Unless it's a blowout by the Niners, it doesn't even matter. What if it comes down to one play? What if...
You got to put it in Dak's hands.
What if the Cowboys are 1 point behind and Brett Maher, then you go for two, I guess.
Well, it depends. Has he hit extra points like throughout the game?
Even so, the amount of pressure that would be in the fourth quarter, you can't put him out there. You have to go for the win.
You know, it's funny about the yips, right? Because when you get them, once you get over them, are they just gone? Like once you get rid of the hiccups or something, it's like you're in the clear for a while.
No, I don't think so.
The yips can go back at any moment. Like did Chuck Knobloch, if he actually threw to first, then he wasn't cured after that, right?
No, I feel like Mark Wohlers had it. Ankiel had it for a little bit as well.
Yeah, but
And all this came back,
just
though.
ended up switching positions
to a different position.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a guy who had the yips and then got over the yips and then got the yips back. I feel like once you get over the yips, it's just kind of like you're done with
Maybe
it. Right?
golfers.
Barkley's gone on and off with yips throughout his whole life.
But he's not a professional golfer.
No, but
he's the worst golf swing of all time.
He's got a tick, though. I mean, it's similar. For golf, I'll tell you, that is the one spot that I get the yips. Or have you ever? I don't play a ton of golf, but when you're at that first tee and everybody's watching you and you know everybody's judging you and you're not quite certain you're going to make solid contact, that is a level of anxiety that I just can't handle.
But you beat
That's
Nance.
not the yips. That's choking.
You beat Nance in his own game.
I did beat Jim Nance, and he has a replica of Masters men corner, and I did beat him there, but you have to understand, my ball hit off his house. I shanked it, hit off his house, and landed 2 feet from the hole.
Didn't Rory McIlroy do that once in a major?
Happy Gilmore, final hole.
And I think actually what Brett Maher, the Cowboys kicker, is going through is closest to golf because it's something he's done a million times. He doesn't have to avoid a rusher. It's just right in front of him. The only enemy he has is his own mind. And I have to tell you, I don't want to get too deep here. That is the most serious enemy any human being can face.
Well, we know. But the thing is I don't know if you can have the yips if it's not your sport. Like, if Charles Barkley all of a sudden walked to the free throw line and couldn't make a free throw, I would say that's the yips. Like, if Brett Maher,
like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, right. Like, it has to be in your sport.
Well, yeah, but golf, I do think people say Barkley has the yips in golf. He used to be an excellent golfer. Then he got this tick in his swing.
Yeah.
I don't know. People, I mean, we've said that. You've probably even said it before. He's got the yips. Golf's important to men, too, by the way. They don't take that lightly.
I get it.
I mean, is the solution as easy as Major League 2?
What do they do in Major League 2?
Remember the catcher can throw back to the pitcher? So he had so Jake, the manager, had him reading like Playboys or something, and then or like lingerie magazines.
I mean,
and that's how he remembered to like not think while he was throwing the ball.
I just want to point out for a second that you guys clown me incessantly for liking Caddyshack 2.
Yes.
Major League 2 is an abomination of a movie.
No. Major League 3 is an abomination.
No, Major League 2 is an abomination. Wesley Snipes didn't even come back for the second one.
You know, Major League 3 was Scott Bakula Back to the Minors. It was one of the worst movies.
It was so Major League 3 is the equivalent of Caddyshack 2.
No, Caddyshack 2 is an Oscar winner compared to Major League 2.
Nobody from Caddyshack 1 came back to Caddyshack 2.
Chevy Chase. Ever heard of a small actor named Chevy Chase?
Sure, but like none of the other. Bill Murray was replaced by Dan Aykroyd, and Rodney Dangerfield was replaced by
Jackie Mason.
Yeah, they were all replaced by somebody else. Major League 2. Everybody came back for the most part, except it was just a different actor playing, Willie Mays Hayes. And then you added the Japanese guy who came in.
No, I know it was Omar Epps. I just want to point out that Samter went right to Major League.
Can I throw out an activity for Super Bowl week? And I know we're out there and we don't, but I think we should all get together in a hotel room and stream Caddyshack 2 to see if it is really as bad as most of us remember, or if it's as good as. I assume it's going to be a little dated, but I would love to do a live stream of us watching Caddyshack 2 and Maggie hysterically laughing at some Jackie Mason joke, and the rest of us just not knowing what to do.
Caddyshack 1.
855-212-4CBS. All right, got to get to this. So a couple of things here. Number one, the NFL is very proud of themselves today, patting themselves on the back, putting out releases that they sold 50,000 tickets, Perloff, to a potential neutral site AFC championship game in 24 hours. Now, somehow this is getting twisted as bulletin board material for the Cincinnati Bengals. So we have Joe Mixon, who was asked about this and is really ticked off.
To be honest, it's disrespectful, but we're not worried about that. We got a game to play on Sunday, right? So you can't count us out. We got a game to play on Sunday. Like I said, that other stuff, that don't mean we're going to go out there on Sunday and, we're going to do what the hell we got to do to come back with that dub. And then we're going to see what they're talking about.
See, I think this is unfair from the NFL to give extra bulletin board material to the Cincinnati Bengals when this had nothing to do with the Bills and has nothing to do with the Chiefs. This was the NFL decided to put these tickets on sale. This isn't the Bills like planning a championship parade or something like that. And I think it's getting twisted here by the Bengals.
So you're saying I don't think there's bulletin board material at this level of the playoffs. Everybody's 100% in and ready to go. And also, Joe Mixon's been mad about this for 3 weeks, right?
Well, the coin flip, I kind of understand why they were upset about that.
Yes, Joe Mixon, all this motivation.
End up needing.
Can I just give you his last 2 games? Week 18, 11 carries, 27 yards. Playoff game against Baltimore, 11 carries, 39 yards. And by the way, and you could say, oh, well, that's a tough defense. He hasn't gotten over 3 yards a carry in about 6 weeks. I don't know what this bulletin board. Where was that bulletin board material? No, he could find a tackler in a dark room. And, Joe Mixon is the most overrated running. If Joe Mixon starts going off against the Bills, then you're definitely going to lose. But I'd be beyond shocked if that happened.
Well, wait now. Now you just jinxed it. No,
I'm just saying, 2 weeks, he's been fired up about this stupid coin toss, and he's done nothing.
Well, he scored a touchdown against the Ravens and then pulled a coin out of his uniform and flipped it in the air and then kicked it into the stands.
He had 11 carries for 27 yards against a Ravens team that wasn't even trying. He's been bad. And also, Joe Burrow is always dialed in. He doesn't need bulletin board material. That's really my take.
He doesn't, but there's always like just the collective thing where it's like I think there's no greater motivation. I don't think this matters about football or professional sports or just life in general. There is no bigger motivation than thinking you're getting screwed. Like, whether it's on a parking ticket, whether it's your kid not playing in a game at a rec level, whether it's professional football, there's no greater motivator, I think, in life than thinking you're getting screwed. And they're professional athletes. They play for a paycheck. I get it. But that's a human emotion.
Yeah, maybe in week 14 when you're trying to get up, I can't see, this is it. This is the season. They got to be fired up already. Well, why would you need extra material to go up against this game? And I just don't think Joe Mixon strikes me as a guy who speaks for everybody else.
Well,
if Joe Burrow said it, then I would take it seriously. But Joe Mixon, I could care less.
All right, well, speaking of Joe Burrow, now this one was kind of odd, too, we thought. Joe Burrow, who, depending where you want to put him, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. But wherever you put him, but everyone can agree that he's top 5 quarterback in the league. He's obviously in line for a major contract whenever they decide to get that done. The first time they can get it done is after this season. He will have completed his 3rd year. So here was Mike Brown, who's the owner of the Bengals, who was talking on the Bengals Booth podcast with Dan Hord and Dave Lapham.
He's going to have a long career. We certainly want it to be here. But there is the fact that when you don't have to pay the quarterback some extraordinary amount, that leaves room to pay other players more. But Mahomes and others of that like, they seem to make it go even after they have gotten their payday.
You're not getting out of this one, Mike. I gotta say.
What are you talking about? He sounds sharp as a tack right there. What was that?
Are you implying that, what's the implication here?
I've read a lot about this. The implication is they want him to take a Tom Brady discount to keep the talent around, because they got to obviously pay their receivers. Especially, I think they could lose T. Higgins. So I think everyone is assuming that he's saying, hey, take a discount. Of course we want you, but we got to keep a champion team around you.
Okay, well, I mean, not to get too in the weeds here, but you know who's going to have a major problem with that? The NFL Players Association. They hate it when guys take less money. Hate it. And if Joe Burrow has a chance to have a record-setting contract. I mean, I don't know if he's getting a Deshaun Watson contract, but he certainly could ask for one.
Well, I know, but
just like Lamar.
Those guys, I never even understood. I would definitely go the Brady route. If you could say you got $185 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Isn't that enough?
Well, but that's not for you or I to decide.
Well, I'm just saying you don't want to be Drew Brees and then have your team gutted around you, because that's no fun either. I don't think Drew Brees cares about the money. He can never spend the money.
Well, then why do you keep taking every dollar year after year?
I think he had bad judgment. I think he'll look back at his career and say, wow, we could have achieved a lot more if I hadn't eaten up all the salary cap.
I don't think he's going to think that.
I think so. I don't think he cares about the. Well, Drew Brees actually did lose a lot of money, but I don't think he cares about the money. I think he looks back with regret at the last 7 years of his career, for sure.
Doesn't care about the money. He's out there doing commercials for betting, casinos and stuff.
I know. I think he lost some money. I mean, famously.
Yeah.
He got it in a bad jewelry deal and whatever. But I don't know. If I'm Joe Burrow and you have a choice, I can push the Bengals as far as I can, or we we sign all these guys. I want T. Higgins. I'm sorry. And Joe Burrow's always going to make money off the field. He's fine. He'll probably get when he retires, a Tom Brady $40 million deal. You're telling me you wouldn't take a little bit less to keep talent around you?
Well, listen, maybe I might, but I'm not them. Like, I'm not somebody who's already torn my ACL once. I'm not somebody who, was told, at Ohio State, you're never going to amount to anything, or, you can't play for us, and then went on to give one of the biggest middle fingers to everybody in the history of college football. Like, I'm not living that life.
Right, but you also are not you're pretty competitive, but you're not as competitive where Joe Burrow, where your whole life is about winning Super Bowls, and you will do anything. You will push an old lady in front of a bus to win a Super Bowl. So you're telling me you wouldn't help your team like Patrick Mahomes and Brady to help the Cap?
I would push an old lady in front of the bus for this show.
No, you wouldn't. Well, honestly, I think he's obsessed with winning, and I think the obvious path to winning is to take a little bit less to keep your receivers.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're Green Bay, and you're throwing to Samaje Toure at an important moment.
I also, though, if I were the owner of the Bengals and I'm trying to position myself to ask somebody who could ask for the moon and stars, I don't know if I'm doing that publicly.
No.
I never remember Robert Kraft being out there on podcasts saying, it's really great that Tom's taking less money. That was something that was kind of like a little bit more unspoken, right? And a lot of people said it was because Giselle was making so much money that he was able to afford to do that. I don't know about that, but I don't know if I'd be out there trying to put public pressure on him to take less.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're reading too much into it. He was just speaking, but he's kind of hot. He's kind of the hot owner GM right now. They've been on fire in the draft. I don't know that it's not the old Mike Brown. I mean, look at all the great players he's brought in there. And he's a GM. I know Duke Tobin is probably picking these guys, but I feel like he has a little house money to play with. It's not Mike Brown of old, where we used to make fun of them for being cheap. Because they spent money. B, they've made great draft choices.
Well, and they also, let's be honest, got the number one pick in the best year possible.
Right. But they also got
where it was obvious.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Justin Herbert, but it was obvious that he was going to be the number one guy. He's from Ohio. Like, they got so lucky with that.
Right, but they also got Chase. They signed Hendrickson. They've made nothing but great moves. Yeah. And also apparently these backup linemen that are starting, and that you have you don't think that they're going to struggle at all. They're all draft picks. These guys are bringing in, except I can't believe you're not. There's 2 tackles gone and a guard gone, and you're terrified of this team.
Terrified because of Joe Burrow.
There was 1 tackle missing last year. Now there's 3. This is Mahomes in the Super Bowl. There's no way they could keep Joe Burrow upright.
Well, but don't forget, Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that Tampa pass rush was crazy. Like, they were really, really good. That's not the Bills pass rush now.
But I mean, I think that game was definitely defined by both tackles being out, and that's the reality that Cincinnati's facing. It's a huge deal. That's why the spread's 5.5.
I know.
It would never be that otherwise.
I agree with you. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. I still think it can be overcome. Bob's in Myrtle Beach would like to back me up a little bit. What's up, Bob?
Oh, man, I've got your back here. When it comes down, if you're starting to split hairs on what the best sequel is or whatnot, I'm with you here, because unless you've got Kenny Loggins on your soundtrack, you don't even compete.
The soundtrack but he was in the first Caddyshack, the Kenny Loggins song, right? Nobody's Fool.
You also had Lisa Cult Jam. You had Cheap Trick. You had the Pointer Sisters and Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I don't know if there's any other soundtracks that are going to hold wind to that.
Bob, MVP call. Appreciate it.
Can I read the headline again about that Sports Illustrated story I found about Caddyshack 2, please?
Sports Illustrated, what do they know?
Well, it's Chris Nasawati, who wrote the main book on Caddyshack, which is amazing, by the way. Biggest Caddyshack fan in the world. Caddyshack 2, the inside story of one of the worst sequels in history. 40 years ago, the original movie turned chaos into a sports comedy cult classic. So how did it spawn such a, what is this word, stultifying? I didn't even know that was a word. Dud. It's the worst sequel ever made of one of the great movies.
We'll do the watch party. I don't know if we should do it during the Super Bowl. I have to think there's something better we can do
when else are we all going to be in the same room?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll be in the same hotel.
I'm not going to Jersey to watch Caddyshack. That is not happening.
Oh, come on.
Let's just come in early one day and we'll just hang out in the office. We'll get one of those projector screens and we'll just put it on for the entire team here.
We can ask Boomer if we can use his office. I'm sure he'd be totally fine with that.
Sure.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Don't worry about it, Boomer. Move on.
Yeah. Why are you all sitting on my couch? Coming up, a desperation move in the NFL, but will it work? We're going to be picking these games, of course, during the course of the show as well. This is a fun one. Divisional round, Perloff. We're right here on the doorstep. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Back on Maggie and Perloff. Please feel free to call in with show bets. 855-212-4227, 855-212-4CBS. Phil in Pennsylvania is going to send a Randall Cunningham jersey, win or lose, and loan it to us.
Yeah.
I love this concept of loaning us your stuff, and we'll display it.
Here, right on our set.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Much like, as he pointed out, a museum. Because the kind of things, you have a Fred Jackson jersey here that from
signed.
The Bills running back. That belongs to the museum, a Western New York museum.
Very specific museum.
Yeah. I was watching an old Bills highlight the other day, and Fred Jackson got a carry.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Like, that's who he is. Only the real ones know that. One thing we haven't really been talking about much, because maybe it's the largest spread of the weekend, Perloff, and maybe because we're all kind of deep down scared to death of the Kansas City Chiefs, is sort of what's at stake for them this season and beyond. The Chiefs, no doubt, and Mahomes, no doubt, are like the cream of the crop in the NFL. But they still only have one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is it wrong for me or nitpicky for me to say, okay, can you really call them dominant if they don't win another together?
Yeah, but I don't think that applies to this year, though. I think this year they get a total pass. They haven't really invested much in their defense at all, and they let Tyreek Hill go because they didn't want to pay him. So everybody has a built-in excuse this year.
Really? You would get a pass? Did we ever give the Patriots a pass when they used to trade guys away too early or not re-sign dudes?
No, but that was the Patriots. They won 6 Super Bowls.
I know, but I feel like the Chiefs were kind of going to be the next team that would take the torch from the Patriots and be that next sort of dominant team. It was shaping up like that. Hell, they've had 4 AFC championships at home in a row.
Yeah, but Andy Reid did that with the Eagles. He had 4 NFC title games in a row. I don't know. I just feel...
but he never won any of those.
Yeah, but I don't feel like this is
No, I'm sorry.
typical.
He did win one of them, and you went to the Super Bowl.
Typical Andy Reid, though. It just doesn't feel like that kind of pressure. I've never heard anyone treat this Chiefs team like that Patriots team. Because, yes, at some point they have to win another one, but are you hearing... It's nowhere near the amount of pressure the Bills have on them. Basically, this was not supposed to be a great Chiefs year because they lost Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Now, I think a bigger question is what happens when Kelsey leaves. When he's got to get old at some point. But after they misspent on their defensive line, what have they done to help their defense? Nothing. Their defense stinks.
George Karlaftis is a first-round pick.
Yeah, and he's good, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But he's young. And McDuffie actually had a nice play.
The corner.
Yeah, he had a really good play. But those guys are rookies. I think that...
You really think the Chiefs get a pass? If they lose to the Jags and somehow the Jags pull off the upset of the weekend, you think that doesn't matter at all?
I am not hearing a lot of pressure on the Chiefs.
Wow.
For this year. And also, they almost lost to the Texans. They're not nearly the team they were the Super Bowl year. Are they?
I just think with Mahomes and Reed together, I mean, the defense is the same, right? Like, at times the defense says, come on, you can throw on them obviously a little bit, but that's what we said even the year they won the Super Bowl, you could throw on them. We have a little Andy Reid sound, yes? This is Andy Reid talking about Patrick Mahomes and his attitude just going back to the offseason.
All of a sudden his receiving core, for the most part, except for McCole, they leave, new group comes in. And he didn't flinch on it, he didn't complain, he didn't run up to Veach and go, what are we doing? That's not what he did. He just said, I understand, let's go.
And he gets commended for that, I guess. Not like Aaron Rodgers out here being like, you got to re-sign this guy and this guy and this guy and that guy, or else I don't want to be here. I mean...
Well, yeah, but I mean, those are scrubs. Those are his friends. I totally think Aaron Rodgers is being unfairly labeled as being selfish for saying, keep my buddies around.
No, it's not about selfish. That part of it I don't think is selfish. I think it's weird to say, now we're talking about Rodgers, but I think it's weird to say, I would take your $60 million and now I have all these demands. It's like, well, they give you $60 million. You might just have to do what they want to do now.
I don't know. I mean, listen, he's trying to support his friends that are negotiating contracts. That's what I would want. He's being actually more team first than usual there, saying, hey, these guys have worked really hard. It's important to bring them back. Obviously, back to Rodgers for a second, what is he doing? The Packers do not want him. Do you really want to pay $60 million for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers and 21 rookies? That would be painful for everybody. Don't you want to move on?
Well, it's not that many rookies. I mean, it's a young team on defense, but these have been first-round picks that have been building on themselves.
But if you lose Bakhtiari, who's your left tackle?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Who's your tight end?
The Cowboys are starting a rookie left tackle, and most of the people who called today think they're going to beat the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the Cowboys do have some serious concern. I know about you and the offensive line.
That's okay. I've made my peace with them.
That's a bit of a problem that they've had to rotate that offensive line, so we'll see. Do you see Jason Peters limping off?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he's been practicing this week. I got to check about today.
But I don't even know how we got there. But Mahomes, yeah, he's crediting, but I don't think Andy Reid would never take a shot at Aaron Rodgers. That's just not what he does.
No. I don't think he was doing that. And I'm saying that. I made that leap. But I'm just saying about Mahomes, like, listen, I disagree with you that if they lose this game to the Jags, and listen, would it be a long shot? Yeah, there's a reason why the Chiefs are a 9-point favorite. But this Jags team is resilient. They've shown they're a second half team. You have a Andy Reid disciple and Doug Peterson, who is going to know what Reid is going to be trying to do, which is hard because Reid is such a genius at times on the offense. But, I mean, this is a heavyweight matchup. Like, it's just because the spread is big, I don't think doesn't mean this isn't going to be a good game.
I mean, you can't say it's a heavyweight matchup.
Why not?
Weren't the Jags 9-8, and they won the AFC South? And they did it by beating Tennessee 2016 on a strip sack of Josh Dobbs. A heavyweight matchup means Frazier Ali. This is more of a Villanova-Georgetown to me. They were 9-8.
I get it, but they've also been playing playoff games for a month. And they've been
looking
winning.
Great.
Well, but they've been winning at each turn. I don't know. I guess I consider Trevor Lawrence, like, now I feel like he's kind of arrived. After the second half in that Chargers game, I feel like that was the moment, right?
It's funny. I view Buffalo-Cincinnati as a heavyweight matchup.
Well, that's another one.
Another one. I don't... You see KC and Jacksonville the same as Cincinnati-Buffalo?
No, it's not the same. But I think... No, it's not the same. But I do think it would be devastating. This is how it started. This would be devastating for Kansas City if they lost.
Well, let me ask you this.
And then we'll start asking questions about when are they going to win their next Super Bowl.
What if the Chiefs win this game, forget this game, and they don't win the Super Bowl? Are people going to be disappointed and start asking about Mahomes? Is he going to get another one?
Well, I mean, if he loses to the Bengals again, or if they lose to the Bills, I think so. I still think people look at the Chiefs as a step above, and Mahomes specifically, a step above even Allen and Burrow.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of pressure this season. I just don't see it. Nobody's been talking about the Chiefs like they're the team to beat. It's been the Bills almost all the year.
But the Bills haven't played well in a month.
Yeah, but I know it was a fairly close game, but they sure looked like the better team when they played the Chiefs early in the season.
Yeah, but that was that feels like years ago, that game. That was before Josh Allen got hurt in Week 9.
Yeah, I know, but they're not. I don't know. They're just not that team right now. The Chiefs. They're not the juggernaut. I'm not sure. I'll bet you if you look at the last 4 years, their Super Bowl odds have been much higher. Don't you think? There's no Tyreek Hill.
I know, but they still are the Super Bowl favorites.
Barely. And I mean, they've been flip-flopping with the Bills. If the Bills played well against Miami, by the way, there's a lot of people who think that the number 2 seeds will be the favorites next week. A lot of people think the Bills are going to be favored over the Chiefs.
Well, first they got to get there. I mean, let's not look ahead too much.
Well, I mean, it's just speculating, just where perceptions are. I definitely think the Niners could be favored over the Eagles, and I would bet you the Bills would end up being favored over the Chiefs. I'm saying the perception of the Chiefs is they are not that super team this year.
You know, we can't just go by Vegas in this one because Vegas has been weird about the Bills for the last 6 weeks.
But that's public perception.
Yeah, I mean, they've been the spreads have been off in a lot of these games.
Well, I don't know. That doesn't strike me as a valid statement.
They were 13.5-point favorites last week, and they won by 3.
Yeah, I know, but it's in general, I don't think you can say the spreads are off because it never works that way. The spreads know more than all of us.
Well, then how do you explain 13.5-point favorites?
Well, I mean, because sometimes a game doesn't hit the spread, but I mean, generally, what are they against the spread this year?
I don't actually have their number about against.
But generally, the spread is more accurate than any piece of analysis there will ever be in the history of the world. The spread, to say the spreads are all off.
For the Bills, they've been weird. Don't you think this 5.5 is a little bit weird?
No, because they're missing 2 tackles and a guard. I think you can't look at that and say, oh, I think Cincinnati has a great chance to win this game. Yeah, it definitely pushed it. It would have probably been 3.5. But these injuries are huge.
I mean, but Joe Burrow got sacked 8 times last year in the game against Tennessee, right? They win that game.
Against Tennessee.
But he was sacked 1,000,000 times on their trip to the Super Bowl. And ultimately, it was...
Wait, if you're so confident, you should be putting all your money. And you feel like you make it sound like there's a no-brainer that number is not going to hit.
Well, you know, I've got like a personal thing that I don't like to bet on the Bills.
Okay.
Or like anything that has to do with their games. Because I find it's bad juju.
I just find it weird to say that, almost saying Vegas doesn't know what they're doing on one team. Because obviously that can't be the case, because Vegas is all about winning money on these bets. So they have a reasoning, and they always win. There's a reason those Billies are so nice. It just it just feels like, you know what I'm saying? If I had said, I don't think these spreads really understand what the, name a random team, the Jaguars are doing.
Yeah.
That wouldn't, in a vacuum, that statement would sound ludicrous, right? Because the spreads are always right.
Okay, who was the Vegas favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference last year until basically the day they were swept out of the first round?
Oh, the Nets.
Yeah. And what happened? Nobody thought they were beating Boston. And we couldn't figure out, why do they keep saying this? Because sucker bets keep coming in on them. That's the reason why, not because they're watching the games. I mean, they are watching the games, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, sports betting, these lines, they're just totally random numbers drawn out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're all going to hit this week. Timothy says in the chat, you can't be a dynasty without a defense and a running game. Is that going to be ultimately what undoes the Chiefs on this run?
Well, hold on. The Patriots never had a running game.
They had like the whatever, you know.
They had a third down back out of the backfield.
Like a James White, like that Falk guy. Yeah, the catch the ball out of the backfield guy. That was the run game. Well, Corey Dillon was a run game for them. That was one
early. They had the first 3. They definitely had a run game. I bet you they were top 10 in running in those years. I'll double check.
Remember Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis? And it's in Berman used to call them the law firm.
Loved it.
That was a good one.
I think people don't realize how bad that Chiefs defense is. I mean, it is last year was terrible. Wire to wire. It's awful this year, too. If they face a real team, which I'm not sure is going to happen, assuming they face the Bills, they could beat the Bengals for sure, because the Bengals are going to be so beat up. Yeah, but I mean, they're going to be heavy favorites against the Bengals. And if the Bengals... Honestly, if the only team that is really going to challenge them right now is the Bills, you would think. Vegas would think. I would think. You wouldn't think, of course, because you're better than Vegas.
Yeah.
But
guys, for years I've been beating Vegas. I mean, this is why I do what I do.
But I think wait till someone really, really good challenges that defense, and we'll see. I agree with that caller who said the person in the chat.
Yeah.
That defense is terrible. There's no way you could call them a dynasty until they get that right.
Chad says the Chiefs are not a dominating team. This year, they have not been. They have not been a dominating team this year. So maybe we're looking at those 9 points. Maybe that's tempting.
Years past, for sure.
Definitely.
The team remember the year after the Super Bowl, they were 14-1 going the final week, and they rested their starters. That team was dominant.
Yeah, that was crazy. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Welcome to weigh in on your thoughts for the divisional round. Coming up, crazy rumor that's going around the NFL today. We'll get to that in just a moment after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flash.
Well, 4 more teams will take another step closer to Super Bowl 57 this weekend. The divisional playoffs kick off with a surprising Jaguars and Chiefs in Kansas City. The matchup features Andy Reid going up against one of his former assistants in Doug Peterson, who also played for him, and as one might expect, Reid has a lot of praise for his protege.
They've improved every week, and and they have bought in. Doug's done a great job, as his coaches have. I mean, it takes everybody. So, but he's done a nice job with that group.
Jaguars are coming off the incredible comeback last weekend. Now they'll face Patrick Mahomes, who's 4-0 in the divisional round. Giants and Eagles cap tomorrow's doubleheader, meeting for the third time this year. Philly won both of the two previous meetings. The Bengals will be without two more starting offensive linemen Sunday, ruling out both left tackle Jonah Williams and right guard Alex Kappa with knee and ankle injuries. Michigan has fired Matt Weiss, the co-offensive coordinator, currently under investigation for computer crimes access. And the Twins have reportedly sent all-star Luis Arraez to the Marlins for pitcher Pablo Lopez and a pair of prospects. I'm Rich Acker.
It's Bill Ryder. CBS Sports Radio has moved to Sirius XM channel 158. Or listen to us on your local affiliate. Find your station at Odyssey.com/stations.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. A lot going on today as we are on the eve of the divisional round in the NFL. Best weekend of the year. I think all these games, I mean, I don't see a blowout in the lot.
We are sweating our picks right now. I mean, during the break.
I asked these two behind the glass, Stu and Mike. I was like, all right, if you were me, against the spread.
No, because the funny thing is, and we'll get into it later, our season-long records are identical. But you and I are both, we're trying to help each other out with these props. And you look at these rushing props and these receiving props, and it seems so obvious. Like, there's no way Devin Singletary's going to get 38.5 yards. Cut to Sunday. Devin Singletary breaks one down.
It's like it's his season high.
Yeah, these props, I think you could do a lot of analysis on the over-unders and the actual spread. But these props, there is definitely a luck element.
You think? 855-212-4CBS. There was one this year that I ended up getting. It was a Monroe St. Brown receptions prop. And it was like 6.5 or something. Yeah. He's at 5, and he leaves the game with an injury and ended up coming back into the game and getting 2 more catches. I was like, the gambling gods shined on me that day.
I had Saquon Barkley receiving catches last week. And every time, I'm only watching the game for that at this point. So Daniel Jones drops back, and Saquon's just sitting there in the flat, wide open about 100 times, and Jones is throwing it somewhere else, usually completing it, and I'm screaming, 25-yard pass to Richie James. I'm like, you had Barkley right there. What are you doing? Betting makes you a fool. There's no doubt about it.
How many times do you your guy runs 60 yards, gets tackled to the 1 yard line, and they give it to somebody else for 1 yard touchdown? Come on, give it to
Matt Asiata with the TD Vulture. There's nothing worse.
So that's one of the reasons why you had a really good prop about the Jarrett Stidham over half of interception. Yeah. That was like gravy. But I never bet those interception props because I'm always worried that it's going to be interception. But they're like, there's a flag on the other side of the field because somebody was like ineligible man downfield and then like bring it back or something. I'm like, there's too many things that can go wrong.
Stidham, by the way, in that game had 1 interception, and it was a lucky one.
It was.
And then I was like, this is easy cheddar, and I did Russell Wilson, half an interception. And guess what? Russ had the cleanest game of the year. Luckily, at the end, someone knocked his arm and he threw an interception. Yeah, it's brutal. But so we're going to do that in hour 3?
Yeah, we'll do that coming up in just a bit. But speaking of Russell Wilson, tangentially, get to it in a second. Let's check on our buddy, Sean Payton.
What the is
Sean Payton
up to today?
Perloff hates this. I love it.
Well, it was originally conceived as Aaron Rodgers, the dude's out there doing ayahuasca and dating Instagram influencers. Sean Payton is just going about a coaching search. But anyway, I am now very curious. What is he up to today?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked. So literally today, Sean Payton is in New York City, was meeting with David Tepper. I'm assuming that already happened. They seem like morning people. So that's obviously the owner of the Carolina Panthers.
He had to reschedule a Monday, Schefter tweeted just now.
Oh.
I wonder why.
Is that something you can text? Like, hey, sorry, gotta cancel.
There's a Charlotte soccer player that David Tepper owns the team who unfortunately passed.
Oh, I did hear that tragic story. So they want to reschedule.
So Tepper had to reschedule.
Okay, well, we'll leave that where it is. That's a tragic story. Stu's now laughing that we walked right into that.
I totally brought you down on the cute little Sean Payton over.
Okay. That is
come
tragic.
back from this, Maggie. Let's see you do this.
I'm like, I have no way to spin out of this. Michael Vick couldn't spin out of this. There's no way that I'm going to be able to, so I'm just going to move over to a completely different story, which is, according to Colin Cowherd, Russell Wilson reached out directly, but legally, no tampering, reached out to Sean Payton directly to gauge his interest and basically try to recruit him to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
First of all, smart move there by Russ.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos seems to me like the most logical situation. If it's true that Sean Payton wants between $20 and $25 million, that makes Denver the richest team and Carolina the second richest team the first two choices, right? Those are the only two guys who are going to pay him $25 million a year.
Well, I don't know if it's the only teams. Like, all these guys are rich enough to do it if they want to.
But that makes him the most logical. I think Sean Payton's looking at this and saying, it's not just that they're going to pay me a lot. They have all the resources in the world. They're going to make the best practice facilities. And you and I sort of disagree on this. I don't think he wants a 3-year project like the Houston Texans.
Sure.
Denver has a lot of veterans. They have a lot of, there are a lot of guys coming back off injury. I think he could have instant success there. I think that'd be very attractive to him.
Okay, but do you consider Carolina a work in progress, like a work in progress or a finished product?
No, there's with the quarterback on set.
Yeah, they have no quarterback.
And
but
not
yet,
that they've never, but that team hasn't won more. Yeah, that Denver hasn't either. But Denver's got a lot more Pro Bowlers, I believe.
Yeah, I think Denver's roster. Listen, I like the Carolina roster, but there's a really big question mark. Who's going to be your quarterback? But if it's going to be about money, and you're saying David Tepper or the Walmart Penner Group, then I mean, one is a project, a little bit more of a project, even though the roster, I think, is good in Carolina. And the other one is, hey, you're expected to come in and win immediately. Now, when you're making $25 or $20 million a year, if you fail at that, well, you get a nice little comfortable landing spot with all that cash. But it's a lot more pressure. And it's a better division, which I know didn't end up mattering as much this year, but it still matters. I mean, you still had the Chiefs and the Chargers both made the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. Look at Denver's got Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy lining up, and I guess Noah Fant's gone. So Alberto. I don't even know who their tight end is. Carolina, they got rid of McCaffrey, so they're still, and they don't have a quarterback. It's not just that they're a little thinner. I mean, they kept Brian Burns, but they're not exactly stacked right now. There's definitely you're going to need some time there.
Yeah, but I think that could be attractive, too. And it's a much easier division to win.
Sean Payton's 58, and he has this incredible reputation. He's not going to want to get $25 million a year and be 4-13.
No, they're not going to be 4-13. Well, I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, but I don't see they're going to win the division. Brady's going to leave, and who they're going to lose to Atlanta, who's also in similar rebuild, and who, the Saints?
Well, I don't know why are they in better shape than any of those teams. They haven't had a winning record since 2017. They haven't really even gotten to 500 since then. They've had 2 winning records in the last 11 years.
Because they keep missing on the quarterback. I mean,
but then what's the change here?
Well, I still think, you are thinking that if you're coming in with Sean Payton, isn't that what you're paying him the $20 million for? Is because he's going to be the guy who's going to connect with a quarterback who's going to make them successful, whether it's a veteran guy they bring in or whether they draft somebody.
Yeah, also, they've missed on a lot of draft picks, I know. They have not had a great Scott Fitterer has not exactly had a perfect regime.
No, I'd say not. When you decide to give Sam Darnold,
I just can't imagine that they can match Denver in talent. But I mean, I don't know. They won 7 games this year, but it was in the NFC South.
Do you think that Russell Wilson reaching out does anything? If that Coward report is true.
Well, I mean, listen. Doesn't Russell Wilson in some ways remind you of Drew Brees? They're both short. They both throw a nice moonball, deep pass.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the kind of guy you could work with. You could do a lot worse. I know Russell looked bad this year, but if Russell's healthy and he's got his weapons back and he understands the offense, which he clearly did not under Nathaniel Hackett, then maybe there's a chance for redemption there.
I just wonder, is it more appealing for Peyton? Like, have we totally put to rest the idea of a Tom Brady, Sean Payton pairing? Because if you're talking about that, then you're looking at a place like Carolina where that could happen.
Oof.
And so,
I don't think Brady's going to go there.
Well, I don't know if he's going to either, but if that's still in the works, which we know was not just a rumor, like this, this was going to happen. It was going to be Peyton and Brady in Miami.
I don't know what Carolina can do in free agency, but That is just not the situation. I mean, look at their weapons. They have DJ Moore is really good.
Yeah.
Terrace Marshall, who's a bit of disappointment. Shai Smith is their third receiver. Ian Thomas is their tight end. And Deontay Foreman, who's a journeyman, who I happen to like, is their running back.
Well, Chuba Hubbard, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a starter. I think he hasn't been a starter for a while there. That's just not, it's not a lot of big names there. That's not Tom Brady material. It's not Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
I mean, the offensive line is good.
Is it?
I think it is. I mean, they invested a lot into it with Ekwonu. I mean, I think you could do worse.
Well, yeah, I didn't think Ekwonu had a great year.
I mean, he's a high pick. Maybe
Yeah,
it's a rookie year. I mean, can he have a second to develop?
Yeah, I'm just saying Denver's got Garrett Bowles, who's an All-Pro. I'm not a huge fan, but
Yeah, I know. Didn't you call him the human holding penalty?
yeah, that guy can hold until Donovan Smith took over that.
Yeah, and that's who Brady was playing with all year.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Carolina was a huge seller at the trading deadline. They just couldn't get the right deal for Brian Burns. I don't know. And you have no quarterback. I can't believe I'm even discussing this, but I guess it comes down on what kind of timeline does Peyton want? You're going to give him a year.
Man, does anyone else feel like this is setting up where Peyton just goes back to TV?
I do.
It kind of feels
Sure
like
seems
it.
to like talking to Colin Coward.
Yeah, he does. He does. And like they're like, he really loves it out here, the golf and the TV, and his life is so great. I'm like, well.
Do you see that guy on TV? He's the happiest person on that set. He doesn't have to work. He's in L.A. Now, here's the other question.
Yeah.
If you look at next year, are McVay and Brandon Staley the coaches after next year? Maybe next year is a better option.
Stay in Los Angeles?
Stay in Los Angeles, and then who knows what opens up. He wants to coach Justin Herbert.
This is Tony, 2-ton Tony in the chat says Walmart price is going to be going up.
That's funny.
Someone's got to pay for Sean Payton. It's going to be us buying toilet paper.
I think the Walmart Penner Group will be okay.
Something tells me they're set for life. 855-212-4CBS, yeah.
Denver is, that's a good place to live.
Denver is I'd love to live in Denver.
Yeah, I think everybody would. It's the hottest city in the country. Everyone wants to live in Denver.
I think if I lived in Denver, I think I'd become an outdoorsy person.
Yeah. The thing about Denver is...
Which I am not right now.
It snows.
No, you're shaking your head?
No, you're either an outdoorsy person or you're not. You
can't fake your way into that?
Yeah, you can't be in a place and be like, okay, now I'm going to be... No, you either live in the outdoors and then you just find a place to be and do it. You can't just go to a place and be like, oh, I'm going to be an outdoors person.
Yeah, but what about a when in Rome kind of thing?
Are you a when in Rome kind of person?
Not yet, but there's always time.
When in Denver, that famous saying.
Move the show to Denver?
Denver, too, has a long golf season, which the NFL people love. They get a lot of free agents.
855-212-4CBS. Coming up, the one person feeling the most pressure this weekend. We'll tell you next.
You're in a 5-minute break. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
There's one game, though, it seems to ring a bell that they did have a home field advantage.
Okay, yes. I don't want to talk about that.
What do they call it? The Music City. It was almost like a miracle play.
It's not personal.
So was that a lateral with Frank Wycheck?
It was a forward pass.
Oh, we're getting her started. Uh-oh. County Maggie's going to show up in a minute here. We don't want that.
Not MIT physicists, RIT. That's the Rochester Institute of Technology. They're the ones, the scientists. It's forward pass. Should never happen.
Rochester Institute of Technology supporting the Bills.
Yes.
Like these are geographically biased scientists in NFL controversies.
Geniuses. The genius has no bias.
God forbid they put a chip in the football. Instead, we're going to have some 6-year-old guy carry out a chain onto the field, put a piece of paper between it to see if it's a first down.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Turns out there is a chip in the football.
Who knew?
Nobody told us until snaked its way onto the broadcast one day. Like, what? Why aren't they using it to, calculate first downs and everything?
There was some explanation to why they don't use it. The placement in the football, none of them made any sense to me whatsoever.
It's all probably fake. 855-212-4CBS. Welcome to Maggie and Perloff. So glad to have you. It's the eve of the divisional round, and we couldn't be more thrilled. So there's a few individuals and teams, Perloff, who are feeling just a bit more pressure than everyone else. If we were going to sort of rank the pressurized people who heading into the weekend, I think far and away number one is Josh Allen. He was the preseason MVP favorite. Bills were Super Bowl preseason MVP, Super Bowl favorites, pardon me. Josh Allen is now, including playoffs, has 22 turnovers. And the reason why I think he feels the pressure is because he's the offense, right? However he plays is how the Bills are going to go. Now, I don't know if it has to be that way. I think the Bills actually could run an offense that has a few more checkdowns. It doesn't always go for these home run plays. They could use the run game more. But with Allen, it's so all or nothing at times with him, especially when games are late and close, that I think he has to win the award for most pressure going into the weekend.
See, I would disagree just a little bit because Allen can have a monster game. Last year, Allen had a monster game against the Chiefs in the divisional round. They lost. And that could happen. That could theoretically happen again. Even last week against the Dolphins, he still led them to 34 points.
I know, but his fumble was the fumble and scoop score into the end zone, made that game as close as it could be.
Right, but they still tripled the Dolphins in yards. I mean, he had huge numbers. My point is, I think the pressure extends beyond Allen here. If Allen has a huge game and the Bills lose, it's a possible scenario.
Yep.
Then I think the Bills are really going to regret this season. I think the pressure is mounted Super Bowl or bust. And it's not just on Allen. The same thing, if what happened with Kansas City last year, if that happens again, it is going to be even more heartbreaking because of the expectations on this team. And none of that's going to go on Allen. So I think it's more global. I think a lot of the Bills are feeling pressure, not just Allen.
Yeah, and they should be, quite frankly. They're a 5.5-point favorite. They have a home game. Bengals probably don't feel like they should have the home game, wanted this game in a neutral stadium. And, you know, there's another part of this, too, which is you just can never tell about the emotion of what happened with Damar Hamlin. It's so amazing that he's doing better, but even his family put out a statement recently, a friend of the family cautioned, like, listen, he still, like, has to have oxygen, and he gets winded easily. Like, this is going to be a really long recovery for him. You know, there's still that emotion, and he's in the building now a couple times. Like, at some point, do you just get so drained off of everything that's happened this season?
Yes, definitely. I was wondering about that. Are there potential sort of GOATs, not greatest of all time, but GOATs taking the blame? I mean, that secondary's got to work. The secondary's pretty good, as I understand, but they have to worry about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I think we could walk out of that game saying, man, the Bills' defense let us down.
Definitely. I mean, that's 100% possibility. The pass rush has not been the same since Von Miller went down, and you know, you had Tre'Davious White had to take a long time to get himself back into playing shape, and now you're down to Damar Hamlin, who was a backup for Micah Hyde.
Yeah.
So now you're down to your third-string safety. Absolutely. I mean, they're, you know, relying a lot on a rookie to play corner on the other opposite Tre'Davious White. So there's a lot there that can happen. Okay, who's number 2 on the pressure?
Let me just ask you real quick before we get to number 2. How much pressure do you think is on Joe Burrow?
Oddly, not as much.
0, because he's got 2 left tackle, right tackle out, his best guard out.
That's not
Nobody
why.
expects the Bengals to be at their best this weekend.
That's not why. It's because he already made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no. I mean, those injuries would have worked. They would have been fine. I mean, under normal circumstances, if you're missing 3 offensive linemen, that takes the pressure. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, that takes the pressure off the quarterback.
See,
and it's on the road, too.
It's on the road. They're underdogs. He's already been to the Super Bowl. Like, I think that I don't think that he's feeling the pressure. I would say number 2 on the list, if Josh Allen and the Bills both are number 1, I think number 2 are your Philadelphia Eagles. And I know that Jalen Hurts has a bum shoulder. I know Lane Johnson, their left tackle, isn't 100%. But the Eagles are the best team, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, basically all year until Jalen Hurts' injury.
No, there's a lot of pressure. But I think
also you're playing the Giants, and you're a touchdown 7.5-point favorite.
I think
you're at home.
I think there's a lot of pressure on the Niners, too. I don't think it's much different. I think every single person in San Francisco thinks they're the team to beat in the NFC.
Wait, let's unpack the Eagles first.
No, I'm just saying.
We're not just glossing over.
I don't think there's more pressure on the Eagles than the Niners. I think they both have equal pressure. Okay. I don't put them as a clear number 2 to me.
Totally disagree, because the 49ers are doing this all with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but they don't think that way anymore, I don't think.
They might not, but but if Brock Purdy goes out and throws 3 interceptions in this game,
that's not going to happen.
Okay, but let's just say let's say it does.
I'm saying the style of play. They're not going to let him throw 3 interceptions. Just start handing it off to Debo every time. But please go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying if he somehow costs them the game, which I know this is like
that could happen.
This is like, you know, what Shanahan does is make it so that there's no way that Brock Purdy can cost you the game.
I would hope so. Because I don't want to come in Monday and have Brock Purdy throw 3 interceptions and use that soundbite.
Yeah, probably not. But I think that everyone would give them a bit of a pass because, oh my gosh, the 7th-round rookie finally looked like a rookie. What did we expect? We knew it was coming at some point. It finally happened.
I mean, you know there's an excuse with the Eagles. I mean, I don't care if he's off the injury list. Everyone's going to immediately say Jalen Hurts' shoulder.
Yeah.
If they lose this game. My real concern of this game, I've been talking about all week, is that the Giants control the clock because Daniel Jones on 3rd and 6 runs 7 yards.
Yes,
He's been doing it all year long. So the Eagles typically have not, when they've struggled, the other team has run and kept the ball out of their hands. So the Giants have a chance to do that. I mean, this is not, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but this is exactly the kind of team that can beat the Eagles.
Yeah, but on the flip side, the Eagles can do the exact same thing to the Giants because you can run on the Giants. So it's like, are we expecting everything's just going to be like a 10-play drive that takes like 7 minutes off the clock?
Yeah.
You do one, they do one, you do one.
Well, that's kind of what the Vikings-Giants was.
Yeah, that's true.
Every 3rd down was completed. But, yeah, I think there's a lot of Super Bowl or bust in San Francisco. I think we that's where we disagree. I know they've forgotten that Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. They think that he's the man now.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and 2A. The next person feeling the most pressure is a singular person. and it's got to be Maher. Brett Maher.
But he doesn't count.
The kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, just singularly himself, has got to be feeling so much pressure. I'm so glad I'm not this guy. You couldn't pay me $1 million to switch places with him.
Here's a question I have. You're seeing all of these guys on the Cowboys, Zeke Elliott, Dak, McCarthy, just like, we're behind him. We believe in him. He's the guy. He's going to be perfect. We have all the faith. Do you think that's helpful, or do you think that, like, giving him all of these platitudes, it's almost like, I don't want to say condescending, but it's almost hurting more than helping? Like, maybe the tough love, like, dude, get your butt out there and just kick those damn field goals. Because you see all these platitudes at some point, like, they just become white noise. And so
no, I think I think it matters to back them up. But actions speak louder than words. They can say all this stuff. They brought in another person. We've never heard of this guy before, but they brought in another guy.
Wait, I didn't know he was part of this. You're telling me you think there's more pressure on Josh Allen than Brett Maher? Because, of course, Maher's number one by a mile.
Well, we're ranking.
Well, he's one. I mean, nobody's facing the kind of pressure in this playoff field that Brett Maher when he walked out for that first kick.
So the reason why I have him at 4 is because he's also replaceable. Josh Allen, if he's throwing a stinker, I'm sorry, Case Keenum's not coming in. Like, Brock Purdy, who's even the backup for the 49ers? I have no idea. Anyway, that guy's not coming in. So
Sudfeld? Or no, Sudfeld's gone. Who is the back? Josh Johnson?
Is Garoppolo going to be back?
No, I don't think he's coming back till next week. Josh Johnson. They're not putting in Josh Johnson. So it's like Maher might get replaced on the spot. If he misses the first PAT or field goal, you're not going to see him the rest of the game. And you're probably never going to see him in the NFL again.
That's only
sounds like a lot of pressure to me.
What?
That's only if they dress the other guy, because right now he's on the practice squad.
Yeah,
they have to decide if they're going to.
And they might not want to use that roster spot. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Maher has the most pressure. That's pressure.
Well, so
can you imagine that sitting over that ball?
Yeah, but Maher only has pressure if he has to make an important kick at some point in the game, right? He can miss 2 extra points early in the game, and they still win by 30.
You don't think he has pressure on the first?
Yeah, the first one's got to be. One's got to go in.
On the first kick, but even if he misses those first 2 kicks and they win by 20 or lose by 20, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Like, Dak's going to have pressure for 4 straight quarters on every single time he touches the ball.
It's funny. Michael Lombardi, who's been a friend of the show, former general manager, had a good point on his podcast recently, Perloff, about why on ESPN were they not showing us Maher warming up before the second half? Because, the kickers come out during halftime. Like, we have no idea. Did he make a couple of those and then missed more PATs after halftime?
Yeah, wasn't the report that he would look good in half?
I don't remember the report.
He was out there the entire half. He never even went in the locker room.
And then he still missed a PAT after halftime.
Yeah, but by the way, what Mike was saying about how if he misses the first 2, that's okay. I mean, obviously that would definitely
be a disaster.
That would definitely be the lead on Monday at 3:00 if Brett Maher missed his first 2 extra points.
No, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be the lead. I'm just saying, like, from a pressure standpoint, if he misses a kick or 2, it might not even matter. If Dak has a bad game or throws bad picks, it's going to matter because he's the quarterback, and the quarterback versus the kicker is significantly more pressure.
But if he misses the first one, Maher, that is, he's not going back out there.
Yeah.
Only if they have a second kicker dressed. If they don't, he's going back out there whether
I think they'll just go for 2.
The other thing, though, Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, those guys get to run around and play football. And, yeah, there's pressure on them, but at least, they get to exercise. And I think you get to work that out during the game. Right. You're a kicker. You have no way to work this out. You only have that kick. I think we're talking about pressure being anxiety in your brain. The kicker has more, although global pressure, I agree, it's Josh Allen.
Yeah, Maher's not playing for his legacy.
Who's under the most pressure this weekend? It's definitely Maher.
The Maher legacy.
The Maher legacy. It's been dented significantly.
That book was one of the 3 best I've read this year.
Yeah, right. Andre Agassi biography, Bill Russell, Brett Maher. Let's go to Oscar. He's in California. Oscar, what's up?
Hey, guys. Yeah, Cowboy fan, definitely here out of Southern California. Grew up with the boys. When they won those championships in the early 90s. I really do think that Maher is at a situation where if he goes out and fumbles it or misses it within the first or 2 tries, we got to go for 2. We got to go for 2. We have the run game. We have the 1-2 punch with TP and Zeke. We can always go up to old trusted Schultz. And I think that, Dallas really at this point, the pressure is on Maher, and to a certain extent, I feel like if he does drop the ball, there's no other out for the Cowboys. We can't afford to give up 1 or 2 points in a game like this.
Oscar, it's so funny because, and thank you for the call, and it's a great point. Even though Dallas was even looking dominant in the game against Tampa, it was the missed extra points that made you think, okay, maybe they have a shot to come back until obviously not. So Laura is in the chat, Perloff. You can watch us on youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. She was at the Tampa Bay game against the Cowboys. She said, no, he missed the kicks at halftime too. She said, I was at the game. We saw him.
There you go. I thought I read that he did okay at halftime. Like Schefter or somebody was tweeting about his half. I think he at least was saying he kicked the entire halftime. Man, this is bad. This is really bad.
Oh, no, yeah, it's been bad.
This is really bad.
Well, he made the last one.
So what? He missed 4 out of 5 extra points.
I know. It was unprecedented. We've never seen anything like it. And don't forget, he had missed a PAT at the end of the game against the Commanders. So at one point, he had actually missed 5 straight.
Yeah. No, I would not dress him. I'd go with the other guy. I'd go with Vizcaino.
Yeah.
And the job is to hit an extra point. I don't care about the field goals.
I mean, the field goals could end up meaning the game.
Yeah. I mean, Maher was great this year. I remember so many times he was really a dangerous weapon for them. He's really good deep. But come on, you need the extra. You need the baseline.
It's like hitting the free throw.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you get to start hitting threes.
You need the guy who can hit a layup before you start being Steph Curry. Exactly.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, did we nail it there? Who's got the most pressure?
Wait, by the way.
Yeah.
Why was that a we? I am not signing off on your pressure list.
Okay, my pressure list.
Because Brett Maher has clearly got more pressure this weekend. He's got the most pressure of any human being in this entire planet who's not in the Russia-Ukraine war. This is so much pressure. I don't think we've ever seen an athlete under this much pressure.
Is it weird to put up a poll question, who's got more pressure this weekend, Josh Allen or Brett Maher? Does that
Maher
make no sense?
Yeah, Maher
or Brett Maher versus the field? How do you word that poll question?
I mean, I guess it depends how you define pressure, but I mean, even you know what I mean.
Yeah, is anyone facing more pressure than Brett Maher?
Yeah, Josh Allen has been in a bunch of playoff games.
No, I know, and he also got paid already. Like, I know there's like a lot more that goes into this, but
yeah, I guess it depends. If you're talking about who is most nervous going into this weekend, definitely.
Who's the most nervous person in America?
I'm nervous for him, and I'm not even rooting for the Cowboys. I want the Cowboys to lose badly and Brett Maher to just have the best day of his life.
You actively root against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
you're rooting for Brett Maher.
Oh, I want Maher to do so well. I feel so bad for the poor guy. I relate to him. I'd be the kind of guy to miss 4 extra points.
So you want the Niners to win like 35-6 or something, or like Maher just kicks 2 nice field goals and then
2 40-yarders.
Yeah, beautiful.
No. It doesn't matter. He could hit a million field goals. He's got to hit an extra point.
Okay,
that's how his legacy will be defined.
35-10 is what we want.
That would be the ultimate irony. Is if he hits a 60-yard field goal but misses a PAT.
Yeah, I'm sure it could happen.
By 1.
That's got to be like a 30 for 30 if that happens. I mean, that's epic.
Could you imagine he hits a 60-yarder to tie the game with 3 minutes to go, and then they score a touchdown at the very end? He misses the yeah, oh my goodness.
I mean, the universe is not that cruel, is it?
Hey, sports is cruel.
Like, what did Brett Maher do in a past life that he would deserve that? Oh my gosh.
All right, Brett Maher has probably made more playing football this 1 year than all of us will make our entire life. We shouldn't feel too bad. I'm sure he makes $1.8 million or something.
No, but like people get weird about these kickers. They get like death threats and stuff.
Yeah,
people are strange.
Finkel.
It is weird. Whenever we feel bad for professional athletes, remember they're getting a lot of money to play kids' games.
I know, but they can't say that because when they say it, it sounds bad. Like when LeBron James says, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm still LeBron James and you're still you.
Yeah, but people are feeling so bad for Brett Maher. I mean...
Yeah, I don't think Scott Norwood is thinking about all the money he may or may not have made. I think
I think his life's pretty good, actually. I think when he walks around his 19-bedroom house in Western New York, I think he's okay.
Scott Norwood with a 19-bedroom house?
Wow. I don't think
how much were kickers making back in the early 90s?
I bet you Scott Norwood, I bet you made a ton of money. No?
I don't know if he made I don't know one kicker that was making a ton of money back then.
He probably made $1 million a year.
I don't know if he made $1 million a year, but I would also ask this question. Is there any home in Buffalo, New York that has 19 bathrooms? Yeah. I don't think so.
You can get a 19-bedroom house for $335,000 in Buffalo.
I don't even think like Jim Kelly's house has 19 bathrooms. No. I mean, it might have 2,000 acres, but it doesn't have 19 bathrooms on it. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, who's feeling the most pressure? Is it Maher over everyone else? Or do you have any more candidates? Also, coming up later in the show, we will make our show picks, Maggie and Perloff style, just to tell you how much pressure is on this. Perloff and I dead even in our picks going into the divisional round. Who's going to emerge victorious? Hang on and find out. 855-212-4CBS. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. Minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This NFL postseason, every Westwood One NFL broadcast streams live for free. All on the road to Super Bowl 57. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. All sponsored by AutoZone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone, where you're getting close to prediction time. Mm-hmm. Man, the divisional round, I was looking at some data, Maggie, which was my first mistake. But there's
running the numbers.
There's a large statistical trend for teams that are between 7-point and 11-point underdogs to win on divisional round.
Is that right?
Very, very often not obviously the favorite wins more often, but that is a prime upset, like money line upset.
Is this like in the NCAA tournament, like you're 5-11?
Basically, the divisional round is no stranger to upset. So I think if everyone's just not going to watch a Giants game or the Jags game, they're making a mistake because one of those games easily could turn.
Yeah, and I know you're scared to death that it's going to be the Giants upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles. But if only one of them's going to turn, statistically, I would think it's more likely. Well, no, you're probably in the line of fire.
I mean, it's definitely the Giants. It's the third game. It's the divisional game.
Yeah, Saturday night.
And I think the only reason the Jags are 9-point dogs is because everyone knows the Chiefs blow leads and let teams sneak back on the line.
Yeah, but
for no apparent reason.
I know. Well, maybe, because you can throw on their defense a little bit, and because.
Right, but a lot of those games weren't in question where they didn't cover. They were way up.
Yeah.
They just let the team score vacant points at the end. So that's the backdoor cover with the Jags. I'm not touching that one. That's not my game.
I was reading this on The Athletic today. Doug Peterson, a perfect 6-0 against the spread and 5-1 outright as a playoff underdog. Does that mean anything to you going into this game?
No, because of the Andy Reid number.
No, Andy Reid's not as good as a home favorite or against
bye number.
Well, off of the bye, but it depends which number do you want to believe in? Andy Reid against the spread, Andy Reid as a home favorite, which has not been nearly as sparkling as Doug Peterson as an underdog.
Well, yeah, but Andy Reid against the spread is almost a spark. It has a much bigger body. How many games has that been? 27?
Well, I think that, it's a bigger body of work.
24-3. No, I mean, listen, 6-0 is again. Trends are
27-4
against the spread.
No, against the after
coming off the bye. Yes, but can you look up as a home favorite?
Yeah, I just said I'm scared of that number 9. I feel like the Chiefs could get up 27-10 and then let Trevor Lawrence score late. I can easily see that scenario.
Because there's not going to be any scenario where the Jags are going to stop throwing.
Yeah, and we've seen this. It seems like the story of the season where teams get big leads and go into prevent defense and the other team scores. 9's a ton of points.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's too tempting.
I'll bet you of the 4 games that I have no idea. I'll bet you that's a least bet game because I don't think people have a handle on how the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the last time they played, the final score was 27-17.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing to you there.
I also feel the one team that does not protect the lead at all is your team, the Buffalo Bills.
They do not.
They really do not.
No.
They just.
I know, Perloff. This is why I'm so nervous going into the weekend. So do you think it's going to be like
every game where they're going to jump up 17-3 and then make it really close?
Yeah. Yes. That, or I think
at least they jump out of the league. That's something to look forward to.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Let's go to Dominic, who's in San Francisco. Hey, Dom, what's up?
Hi, thanks for taking my call again. I seem to be developing a predilection for your show. I like it a lot.
We're contagious.
the pressure does seem to be on those Vegas odds makers. Having the Niners +4 seems a little light, and wouldn't you agree that's probably going to go up before game time?
Well, it's the Niners. It's the Niners -4. The Niners are the favorite.
Well, -4.
Yeah.
The spread being 4 seems a little light. And one more thing, real quick:
Sure.
if you had to pick only one, is it Caddyshack or is it Happy Gilmore?
Dominic, thank you for the phone call. Oh man, it's tougher to pick than whether or not the Giants are going to upset the Eagles.
No, he's talking about Caddyshack 1, not 2.
I know, Samter. I got it. I know. I'm the only one who likes Caddyshack 2. I didn't think he meant that. And also kudos to Sandler, who doesn't make sequels. He never made a Happy Gilmore 2.
Grown Ups 2.
Oh, he did make Grown Ups 2. I never saw
Hotel
that.
Transylvania, he made 3.
Yeah, but those are different.
Yeah,
and
those are awesome.
Fantastic.
That's his most lucrative movies.
Yeah, big fan of those.
Yeah, they're great.
He could have done, Billy Madison 2. He could have done.
I'll tell you right now.
I mean, how do you advance Billy Madison's character?
They'd find a way.
That's a good point.
I guarantee right now, Adam Sandler would answer that question, Caddyshack. And I know as a fact he worships Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore is great, but Caddyshack is, it's Caddyshack.
I think it's Caddyshack too. I mean, Happy Gilmore's hilarious though.
Wait, Caddyshack TOO or TWO?
As well.
As well. Thank you. Also, how do they advance Billy Madison? He goes to college.
No, Billy Madison, the adult.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, Billy Madison running
he's running the company.
Running the company?
Yeah.
I guess that could be interesting.
Now it kind of seems like a mistake that they didn't make that.
Isn't that Mr. Deeds?
Never saw it.
Oh,
Mr. Deeds is great. John Turturro. Actually, I think he might be making a Hubie Halloween 2. In case you missed Hubie Halloween 1.
I did.
I don't have any idea what you guys are talking about now.
He did also make 8 Crazy Nights, an animated Hanukkah movie, if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
That is glorious.
Hubie Halloween is pretty funny. He plays this. I can't even describe the plot. You guys haven't seen Hubie Halloween?
Nope.
No. Stu with an emphatic
I've
no.
seen basically every Sandler movie ever, and I've never even heard of that one.
It's like Night of the Living. It came out last year, I think, or 2 years ago. It's sort of a Night of the Living Dead Sandler thing. It's absolutely laugh out loud funny.
It's a cartoon?
No, it's a movie.
Oh.
Have you guys seen? He's done so many Netflix movies. You guys probably don't even know. Do you remember? He's done 2 Aniston movies, right?
Yeah, I saw one of them, like Family Vacation or something, or something where they go onto like some boat and it's like a murder mystery.
Yeah. And you don't know this one, do you?
No, but he's getting paid so much money by Netflix. Yeah. Of course, he's got to start churning out.
By the way, he reunites with Julie Bowen in Hubie Halloween. How are you burying the lead? Happy Gilmore.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she was from Modern Family. Yeah.
Can I just tell you real quick? I'm sorry. He has made. Okay, have you seen this one? Home Team, Hubie Halloween, The Wrong Missy, which he didn't star in, but he produced. Let's see. Uncut Gems, Murder Mystery. It's a Jennifer Aniston movie. Did you watch that one?
Nope.
It's pretty good.
That's what I was telling you about. I think they're doing a sequel.
Hotel Transylvania 3. The week of, which I was in. He's done, I think, 8 Netflix movies, including, have you seen The Western? That one is great.
Yeah, like Magnificent Seven or something, or The Crazy, something like that.
Yeah. Maggie, yeah.
Man, you guys got to start a podcast or something going just through Sandler movies.
You got to catch up on all these movies.
Sandler's my spirit animal.
Does he know that?
Oh, what's the Western called? Help
Sorry,
me out.
Tim in the chat said Hubie like Halloween is horrible. You guys.
Tim knows nothing.
Tim also said
The Ridiculous Six is what it's
The
called.
Ridiculous Six. So Dan Patrick is in all these movies. That's why I know him so well. Dan plays, I'll just give you a little glimpse into The Ridiculous Six. Dan plays Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I could see it.
And Luke Wilson is his bodyguard. The scene before, Luke Wilson goes, hey, Abe, do you mind if I go to the bathroom? And he's walking to the bathroom, and he sees John Wilkes Booth, and he goes, John Wilkes Booth, the actor, huge fan.
Oh, God.
He shakes his hand, and then he goes to the bathroom, and he's sitting on the toilet, and he hears, boom. That's how they played out that scene, and Dan gets shot. You telling me that doesn't sound like a fun movie? It is great.
Wow.
John Wilkes Booth. It's you. I'm a huge fan of your work.
Fan. Like John Wilkes Booth was the Brad Pitt of his day.
Yeah, you can picture Luke Wilson uttering the line.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. Depends what side of the coin you're on. That was Tuesday's show. I want to reignite that controversy.
John, and the Luke Wilson voice, John Wilkes Booth. You know how he sort of says that? Yeah, don't sell these movies
Okay, but
short.
I also now am realizing, of course, you've watched all these Sandler movies for
Dan's
so
in every one of
long.
them.
Dan was your boss, and you have to see him.
Dan's in 23 Sandler movies, and he's hysterical in literally everyone. Not everyone. There's this
He's
one.
a good actor, Dan Patrick.
I was just watching Blended. I'm sure you've seen Blended.
Yeah, Dan plays the owner of Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick Theodopoulos or something.
Yeah, he owns a Dick's Sporting
He's
Goods.
hilarious. He's got a fake mustache on. He's doing the whole. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
fantastic.
I actually, though, knew the actual owner of Dick's Sporting Goods.
Well, he was a franchise owner. He wasn't the
okay.
Dick. He wasn't.
The original Dick's is from Binghamton, New York.
There you go.
Wow. Everyone knows their family. Like, everyone went to school with one of.
Wait, the best two Dan roles. One, he plays a guy who monitors the water slide. You know the guy who says, all right, you go down, and they're always terrible, and they usually
Power
are
trip.
leading to, and they're usually leading to like mangled limbs. The other one, I gotta show you this one. He plays, it's a Halloween movie, and he's Larry Bird, and his shorts go too high.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, you gotta catch up. Spend a weekend, maybe on the plane. You're gonna love all these movies. Maggie.
Our plane out to Phoenix for the Super Bowl. I'm going to spend it watching all the Sandler movies.
John Wilkes Booth.
And once again, Ackerman sits here like, what the hell did I just walk into?
Doing?
It's like, is it?
Actually, a little more up on this one. So
Shocker.
Well, Ack is friends with Alan Covert, of course, who is Sandler's writing partner, who was Grandma's Boy, which is one of the. If you're not a Grandma's Boy fan, I don't want to be friends with you.
That's my number one of all the Happy Madison productions.
Jonah Hill.
Somehow at NYU, I didn't get in with that crowd. Can you believe it? Where would my life be now if I had?
Oh, were you there with Adam Sandler?
Yeah. He used to play basketball in the courtyard at Weinstein.
Were you friendly with him?
No. If anything, it was, hey, how's it going? You know, that kind of guy.
I know. Ackerman knows everybody.
But Sandler used to have a lot of parties in his dorm, and some of my friends who were residence assistants in the dorm had to do the unfortunate thing and say, hey, you got to end the party.
Oh,
no. What about Judd Apatow?
No, I did not know him at all.
Okay.
I don't think he's an NYU guy, is he?
Oh, he lived with Sandler in New York. Okay. Maybe, I guess it was post-NYU.
Tim Hurley, he was an NYU guy?
Adam Sandler, right? You don't know. Tim Hurley, he's an all-time legend. Anyway, we're getting off on a deep tangent on playoff weekend.
That's got to be such a bummer to be an RA, a resident advisor.
I actually spent a semester as a resident advisor to get a better dorm room.
That's why you do it.
I can see it being a buzzkill.
I know,
going
but then
around, guys.
No. Perloff's not breaking up parties. Perloff's like, hey,
no.
Keep it down. Wink, wink.
No, it's funny. I had
this, like nose in a book.
I was a junior, and I had this group of freshmen who were more responsible than me. I was like, they're like, no, we can't party tonight. We got to study. We got to study.
Perloff's like losers.
I think RA at an Ivy League is a little bit different than most other experiences.
Yeah, probably. That's when the RAs are the ones you have to walk up the stairs.
Yeah,
that sketchy guy. What's
it? You guys want to know the real reason I was an RA? I had a dorm room with my own private bathroom in the dorm room.
Look at you.
Wow. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, but you had to be an RA in this particular set of dorms. That's crazy, right? I felt like I was King George or something.
Yeah, what are you, the quarterback of the football team? Jeez, King George.
I don't even know. I felt like royalty. Like
King George was saying to himself, man, I have my own private bathroom on this hall.
Louis the 14th over here. Jeez.
Yeah, I felt like royalty. I mean, my first 2 years of college, the dorm bathrooms were mayhem.
I mean, if that doesn't get you chicks, I don't know what will.
No, you'd be surprised.
Hey, how about you check out my private bathroom?
Come on back to my room. I got a bathroom in suite.
Yeah, it's funny at a party. That line doesn't work. It comes off as weird.
Yeah. And the negative thing is if you don't keep your bathroom clean, you can't blame it on everyone else on the floor.
Yeah. Hey, babe.
Toilet. Yeah, never
Hey, babe,
mind.
is your stomach upset? I got a private bathroom.
Wow. You are
terrible.
a good friend.
That is terrible.
Come on, blow up my bathroom. All good.
No. To be honest, I would not let anyone use this bathroom. So even if it was a potential hookup, I'd be like, nah, still
Sorry,
not
you got
sharing.
it down the hall, Chica.
I'm King George. I got my own bathroom. I'm not sharing.
Imagine dating somebody who called themselves King George because they have the royal throne.
There you go, the throne.
855-212-4227.
Oh, it's a Friday.
Ackerman again. It's like, why? Why am I paired with this show?
I get it.
Coming up, simpatico. Coming up next, Perloff and I make our picks again. We are in a deadlock heat. Records even. One against the spread, one over under, one player prop. Try to win you some money. After this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
CBS Sports Radio. Sports Flash.
Well, about 24 hours away. It's actually less from the start of the divisional playoffs, with the Chiefs hosting the Jaguars in the opener tomorrow, followed by the Giants and Eagles in Philly. This year's been quite a turnaround for New York. The NFC's top seed, though, is a step up, certainly after winning both regular season meetings easily. However, Brian Daboll's team has renewed confidence after winning a playoff game on the road last week.
Well, it's a division game, so I think every division game is important. We had obviously 0-2 against them this year, so we've got to do a good job this week of getting ready to play, the best team in the league, the best team in the NFC.
The Giants have also lost their last 9 times at Lincoln Financial Field. The Bengals' Jonah Williams won't play against the Bills Sunday because of an injured. Right guard Alex Kappa also out with an injured ankle. Michigan has fired co-offensive coordinator Matt Weiss amid an investigation into computer access crimes. And the Minnesota Twins have traded all-star and American League batting champ Luis Arraez to the Marlins for pitcher Pablo Lopez and 2 prospects. Arraez will play second base in Miami with Jazz Chisholm moving to center field. I'm Rich Ackerman.
This is Zach Gelb. CBS Sports Radio has moved to Sirius XM Channel 158. Or listen to us on your local affiliate. Find your station at Odyssey.com/stations.
CBS Sports Radio.
5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
It's time. No more messing around here. Divisional round. Perloff and I have to make some picks. Samter, the records, please.
Well, it looks pretty good so far. The commanding lead that you had over Perloff early on in the season has dissipated completely.
Yeah.
And for the past 3 weeks, you guys have been at a neck-and-neck tie. Right now, both 100% square at 32 and 25, which is unbelievable that you have now gone 19 weeks and you have the exact same record. It's like you're cheating off each other's papers.
It almost feels like the NFL season. It's like we did all this, and now we're down to the divisional round, and it feels like any team can win this week.
Either that or Stu completely cheated while I was away and just completely finagled the records. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a record of all these shows, all these picks, the good and the bad, and everything we say and do. All right. Do you want to do this right away?
Okay. So we were picking one game, one over under, and one prop. The problem is now I have a pick on every game. But what's my one best one is killing me. So I'm going to go second.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, here we go then. Let's do it. My first game against the spread, the reason why I've decided to take Jacksonville plus the 9 is not wishful thinking that somehow the Chiefs will get upset. No. It's a couple factors. Number one, it looks like the weather is going to be pretty gross in Kansas City. Weather's always a good kind of evening out factor, I think, for everybody. Two, we saw with Jacksonville, it doesn't matter what happens or how much they're down at halftime if they're indeed down. They're not going to stop throwing the ball. Now, do I have a bit of a question about their receivers showing up? Like, what's Christian Kirk in a big game? What's Evan Ingram in a big game? Well, these guys have actually been playing playoff games for almost a month now. Their season has been on the line. So I don't worry about the big game factor. I worry a little about them being on the road. But again, I think they're just going to keep throwing and throwing and throwing. So whether or not they can win the game, I'm not sure. But if you're going to give me 9 points, I'm going to take it, Perloff. So give me Jacksonville plus 9.
Yeah. No,
also, the Doug Peterson against Andy Reid.
I like that a lot. I am going to come back to that game later on.
Okay.
So there's two games. I like the two NFC games. As I've been talking about all week, I like the Giants to cover 7.5 points.
Okay.
I mean, you've been telling me I'm crazy and I'm emotionally hedging.
Yeah.
That certainly seems like a lot of points for what could be a grinded-out football game. 7.5 to me seems crazy.
I think that the Eagles are going to win this one going away.
Okay. But this one is maybe an emotional hedge. I think the Cowboys are going to be real competitive. And the fact that spread got over 3 points.
Yeah, it's at 4 now.
Yeah, plus 4. I'm going to take the points for the Cowboys. Not sure they win that game. I know San Francisco's been just marauding over everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys plus 4.
Okay. I mean, I think that game's going to be a Brett Maher field goal attempt. I don't know what's going to happen.
If we had been forced to bet the Bills Bengals, I would have taken the Bills plus 5.5, and you would have taken the Bengals Bills minus 5.5, and you would have taken the Bengals, right?
Yes, I stay away from those games. I would have taken the Bengals plus the 5.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you love those points, right?
I do.
Yes. Yeah, and I got to be honest, that 5.5 is a lot. But okay.
Yeah.
All right, over-under, what do you got?
Okay, so over-under, I'm going to go to the game you were just talking about. San Francisco and Dallas. I'm looking at the weather is fine. Doesn't look like anything is going to be too crazy in the forecast. And San Francisco and Dallas, the over-under right now is at 46. Yes, please, I'll take the over on that. I know these are both great defenses. I understand it, but, I mean, the explosive offenses, like, 49ers have been hitting overs. Their games have been going over for the last, month. Basically, except that game against the Saints where they won 13-0. I mean, there's been a lot of points scored, even though it is a very good defense. So, they're a great defense, but when you get into the red zone, you're able to score. So, I'm going to take the over on the 46.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I hope, since I just picked the Cowboys, that they'll contribute to this 46.
Yeah, I'm counting on it.
Yeah, I hope. Okay, so let's talk about that weather in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Now, it's supposed to be light snow in the second half. All I need is a little wind, a little precipitation, and we're going under 53. Right? Honestly, the way the Jags played last week and the way the Chiefs play every week, you'd think definitely over on that one. I just need a little bit of moisture to make, I don't know, MVS slip or something, or to make Christian Kirk drop a football.
Yeah.
And I'm good, because that number is obviously huge.
Yeah, it's really big. 53.
I'm going under reluctantly. I hate rooting for an under in a divisional playoff game. This is when you want to see a shootout. You want to see 39-36 Chiefs over Bills. Remember that one?
Thank you.
But I'm going under.
Sideswipe.
I'm going under. I got to tell you right now, this better not come down to a Jags squib kick overtime game that cost me hair.
I know the Jags did an onside kick the first time that they played these guys.
Okay. What's your prop?
My player prop, and there's something about this prop that has been comforting to me as a person.
Okay.
Because in this crazy world, Perloff, where nothing is a certainty and so many things are just up in the air, there is one sure thing in this world, and that is Daniel Jones over rushing yards.
You've been riding this prop bet the fourth quarter of the season. It's great. I love it.
I almost feel like it's not even good content for the show anymore because it's been so boring that I keep going with this. But Daniel Jones, 44.5 rushing yards. I mean, last week he rushed for 78 yards. Like, you say that Philly is susceptible to running quarterbacks?
Yeah.
You've been telling me that for weeks.
Well, they're susceptible to run in general. They're just great passing defense with all those cornerbacks. So you don't throw it at them. You tuck it and run.
And there's literally no reason why they wouldn't unleash Daniel Jones at every moment.
Yeah. No, I am going to take your advice on that. I'm gonna bet on that too.
Okay.
That's great.
But that can't be one of your picks.
No, if you're gonna ride the pick that's been working for you, I'm going back to interception total.
Okay.
So Dak Prescott's coming off the cleanest game of his life.
And
I'm picking the Cowboys.
That's a good one.
He's definitely going over his half interception total. Now, unless the Cowboys say we're facing this incredibly terrifying pass defense, we run it every time, I don't think Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore have that kind of patience.
No.
That's
a good one.
This is a different game, which I know is ironic because I picked the Cowboys to cover the 4 points.
Yeah, but Brock Purdy could throw 3 interceptions. You have no idea. Just because Dak throws 1 doesn't mean they're going to lose.
Yeah, you're right. It's sort of a bet on Micah Parsons. So I have 2 in that game. I am so excited. I'm excited about all 4 games.
Yeah.
I'm obviously the Eagles. That's stressful. The 2 Sunday games are such amazing matchups. When I was looking at those bets, there's just so much back and forth. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Dallas, San Francisco.
I'm really glad that you've decided that you're going to watch the game with friends.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be alone for this one.
Well, see.
And I don't want to be with a bunch of Eagles fans.
I was offered to.
I'm glad they're doing it.
I was offered to go down the game, but my parents are out of town. You want to get it. I have to be honest. You know what screws me up is that 8:15 start time. That's late. I mean,
I know.
Listen,
we
that
sound
crowd,
like losers when we say that, but it's true.
That crowd is going to be lubed up like you've never seen a Philadelphia crowd. 8:15. That's 11 hours of drinking. People are going to drink,
no one's
pass
gonna remember
out,
the game.
wake up. No, they'll be on their third wave. They've already probably taken 2 naps in their car. I don't even know what that's going to look like, Maggie. I am really scared for anybody who's stupid enough to wear a Giants jersey to the link on Saturday.
Yeah,
2 naps. That is a long day.
What's the appropriate time to start drinking for an 8:15 kickoff?
Same as at 1 p.m.
Kegs and eggs?
Yeah, I think that they're going to have really, really long tailgates. I mean, what's Buffalo? I assume they're drinking now.
Buffalo, they showed up on Thursday.
I assume if you're in Western New York, you're hammered right now, getting ready for the game.
Listen, they're putting Molson XXX in the baby bottles up there. You got a tolerance that's
that's a good point.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, the tolerance, it could be any time of night and it's be fine.
That's the cold
stereotypes,
weather
Maggie.
keeps you awake. Just by the way, I didn't bet this one, but it's one that I might recommend. The Dallas Goedert 49.5. I know tight ends, I get it, but I mean the Giants linebackers are not
this weekend.
Awesome.
I know we're talking about Brett Maher on Monday. It could also be Dawson Knox, Dallas Goedert, Bellinger on the Giants. It's going to be a huge tight end weekend. Every quarterback here loves it. Evan Ingram,
Mike Samter, Stu Kovacs. Thank you. You guys on the phone, you guys in the chat. Enjoy the divisional round. You know where we'll be. Right back here on Monday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, to break it all down.
Go Bills, go Eagles.
Let's do it. See you Monday.
You're in a 5-minute break.